Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night. It is the NLG show. We are back live again. And hang on just a second, because give me 1 second here. Okay, let's see if that does anything.
You want to do a giveaway today?
Hang on. We're having technical difficulties already. This is what happens when you use OBS for something other than the show on a Sunday, and I had to go back and reset everything. Can we hear this? Let's see if we can hear this video. Hold on. Now we can hear it. Okay. All right. Now we can hear it. I don't know if anybody could hear the actual opening videos tonight, but if you couldn't, I apologize. So, what is up, everybody? Look, the chat room is hopping already. We got Dreadpool in the house. We got Jesse Darby in the house. Brother Toto Dope is in the house. We got Brother Nile, Brother Qeorge, Brother Bryant, Brother Nick, who was on with four guys, 4GQTV this evening. Hold on. There we go. Now you can see my screen. So,
Did we freeze that?
No, we're good. We should be good. Can you see me? I can see you.
Hello.
Can you not hear me? Can you not hear me? All right, hang on. And now he can't hear me. All right, hold on. Half the show is going to be me trying to fix the... maybe it's this. No. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Ah, okay. All right. Woof. Lord have mercy.
Man. See what happens when Peter's not here?
I know. Everything's all screwed up. I was saying hi to people in the chat.
Yeah.
So I was saying hi to Brother Dread, Brother Jesse, Brother Toto Dope, and I'm going to go down the list again. Brother Nile, Brother Qeorge, Brother Brian, Brother Nick, who was on Four Guys earlier tonight. He was on with PK and Infinite. I was very happy to hear him on 4GQTV. Brother De Niro, Brother 68 Camaro. Ladies, Sister Lady Ventress. You know, and Brother Sean Dell, short for Sean, or Sean short for Sean Dell.
I'm Sean Dell.
In the house. Brother Jay, Daddy Jay's in the house. Graphic God, what's up, brothers?
All hail Jay.
All hail Jay. All hail Jay. Jay, we need those shill shirts made, man. No. So. Ooh, what a week. It's been fun. This is my third podcast of the week. Might have to take. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow night. You might have to fill in for Peter tomorrow night too on a co-op stream. Otherwise, it's gonna be a co-op stream all by myself.
I'll try.
So. Well, I want to maybe do a Halo night. Maybe get some Halo Infinite. You know, I hear, Chris, that Big Team Battle is fixed. So I hear.
You mean it just got fixed?
I hear that it just got fixed in this last update they did.
Yeah.
I want to try some Big Team Battle. Nick said, I've done 4 streams this week, you slacker. So let's see. Monday night was Retro Roots with Nick and Rob, and what a great show that was. We talked about what our hard games, what the old school hard games were, and then what kind of old school open world games there were. And just that was a great show.
Yeah.
So then last night, this is really funny. I got somebody else invited me to Amico Forever. I'm not going to tell the whole story on here, but I got lumped in with John Alvarado, and basically Chuck was asked, "Hey, do you want to have John Alvarado and Mullis on your show?" And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't mean nobody was trying to. I wasn't trying to bogart my way onto your show, dude. So no, we had a really good show last night over on Brother DJC Game Studios channel. He, he is keeping the positive Amico talk alive over there and doing a hell of a job. And it was great. It really was. It was great that he was able to we were able to talk with John Alvarado, who we've had on our show. We had him last month, and he did offer to pop on tonight for a little bit, but you know what? Honestly, and this was my, you could have overridden me, but I was like, let that man work. He needs to, they need to keep their heads down, let him go. Next time they make a video, which they're going to make a video on the store and RFID and stuff like that, then we'll have him on and he can talk about that. So, especially since I want people to go see, if you guys have not seen it, when you're done here, of course, we'll watch our show first, but then kick over to DJC Game Studios. His link is in the description below, and check out last night's Amico Forever. It was a great show. Yep. And if you are one of us who are still like Chris and I, still really interested in the system and just kind of patiently waiting, it's a great way to get some, we're gonna talk about the video tonight. Did you see it, Chris?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about that unboxing video a little bit later in the show, and I'll give kind of my thoughts on what we talked about last night. And it was me, and it was Nick. It was Brother Nick. It was Brother Chuck, of course. Brother Rab was there, and then Retro Bro popped in for a bit. So we had a really good time. And John is, dude, he has just some really great energy. And he really believes in what he's doing. I mean, they all do. Let's be honest, they all do. But so yeah, great show, and we'll kind of talk a little more Amico later on. So, but how was your week, Chris?
Just
Great,
busy. Really haven't been able to get any gaming in.
Yeah.
Just working 12 hours. By the time I come home, it's like just hang out with the wife, eat dinner, and then go to bed. So, I try to jump in, the chats with our buddies over the week. And then last night, definitely jumped in and said hi to you guys and listened for a little bit. So hopefully this week I want to get some gaming in, some shredders and Tunic. So that's my goals. I really want to play those.
You know what? If you're available tomorrow night, maybe we do some shredders.
Do shredders? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Maybe we do some shredders because I want to play that too, and I want to see. I mean, Tunic's in Game Pass, so I want to play it, but I want to get your thoughts on that too, because I keep hearing Tunic is very much a Zelda type game, is what I keep hearing. Yeah. And you, of course, being the Nintendo guy that you are, I'm very interested in what your thoughts are about that.
Definitely up my alley. And also I've been hearing that some people are trying to say it's like a Souls-like, also that it's pretty tough. It's not so much of a story driven game but it's a lot of work your way around, hack and slash. You're gonna have some tough bosses, so yeah, that's what graphic got. Zelda meets Dark Souls. So that'll be interesting because I played Death's Door, and that's a great one too, and it's not easy. I got stuck on I think King Frog, and it's like on a platform where just as you're going around, it gets smaller, the way he hits, and I'm almost beating him, but just kept dying. So how that goes. You keep dying, you just get frustrated. You gotta take a break. So
that is why I don't play it. I know everybody is all about Elden Ring right now, and I get it, but I still just can't can't see myself getting into it.
Yeah, I mean,
am I missing it?
I
mean,
want to get back to it too.
But is it me missing something in it? I mean, I keep hearing that it's because it's now become a mainstream game. I mean, it is best.
Yeah.
It is absolutely the best Souls game that's ever sold. It is.
Yeah.
It is. A lot of people are saying, yes, Ellen Ring, cousin born. Everybody keeps saying it's the most mainstream accessible Souls game. It's not, brother. Retro Bro says it's not as hard as Dark Souls 3. And I keep thinking to myself, am I missing something? Because I have Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
And I hate it because my entire life is roll, 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 slash, 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 roll, 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 get hit, die. Which is totally realistic. I mean, the game is totally realistic. That is how that is how combat works in Suits of Armor. But seriously, am I missing something on this?
Well, the thing is, and what got me to get it was it's open world and you have the freedom to explore. So you can sit there and grind and level up and then go back and try to get some of these bosses, I mean, you're going to die a lot. So if you want to go around and explore, get killed a lot, and then as you level up, go back and hit those bosses that took you out earlier. So I mean, it's a beautiful game. And I get why a lot of people like Pete was saying that's his, I guess he was saying it's his best open world game ever. And that speaks volume for people who like open world games. We got the Ubisoft and Bethesda stuff. And those bring a lot to what they do. It's unique what they do. But this one's pretty special. But you still have the Souls like element. You're gonna die a lot. But what's cool is on this one is that there's not just weapons, but you have magic. So depending on what class you pick, how you want to go about what type of character you want to be. You want to be a tank, you want to be a healer, you want to be like a mage. Like that's what I'm going with, the mage. But the combat is still good too, so I definitely have fun doing the combo with it. So, maybe later on, you get a chance, you could try it out.
Well,
But
I mean,
there's so many other things going on.
That's the problem too. There's so many other things going on.
But that's a good thing. I think that's a good problem. Like last week, we were talking about the issues, the studio and this and that. Like I said, to me, I don't really look at that as a problem. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me more is that, man, there's so many good games out, and I just can't seem to find the time. It's like, how as a kid, depending on, your financial income or even if your parents care, you struggle getting games, right? Because they don't want to pay for it, or you just families don't have a lot of money, so you struggle getting games. But here now we're older, we're in a better position to buy more games. Plus with Game Pass, there's so many games that you can, at your tip to go try for a nice low fee a month, or like some of us have been able to, be able to stack it up for a year or two or more. And so that saves us money to go and buy other games. So, I mean, I have multiple games that are just sitting there that I've started, didn't finish, played a lot. So that's that's the problem I have. So, and then hopefully we get the Amico soon. And I can't wait to get that going. and streaming some of that, share that with the family, which we will talk about here in a little bit more about that.
Yep, no doubt. Well, very cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I there's a part of me in the masochistic world that's like, all right, I gotta play it. But then I watch people, and I get a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that get like really excited when they beat a grand enemy or something like that. I don't know. The formula. I am surprised. I will say, this is a game that has a similar formula, and I'm surprised that people have latched onto this formula for so many games in a row. And maybe part of it is that it isn't as I mean, I keep hearing it is a little more forgiving than, say, Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
Oh. And I guess the addition of the horse doesn't hurt.
No.
So.
And like I played Breath of the Wild, and I really like that. And that was one of the things I think. All these open world games, when they all come out, if they're the latest, they all bring something unique. Like Breath of the Wild, it brought climbing on mountains, climbing without, you just climb. And most games didn't allow you to do that, right? You have to find a way to, get up, use like a grapple or something. This one, there is no really climbing. You just have to find a way to jump up, get up to areas. So they all have something unique.
It's a beautiful game. I will say that. It is an absolutely beautiful game.
And I just saw, as far as like Ubisoft, right? Their open world games, whether it's, you have Valhalla, you have Far Cry, you have Wildlands stuff, you have what's the other one in the city? New York and Washington. I don't know why I keep having a brain fart on that. But they also, with those, Ubisoft does with those open world games is that they're able to bring some DLC on some popular, like when Wildlands brought in, what's the name from, not SOCOM, but the one that we've been waiting for. Keep asking when this.
Yeah.
They and the other one brought like the Punisher. It also had a Predator was one deal in one of the DLCs.
Predator. Oh, that was
that was on Wildlands.
Yeah, that was Wildlands.
Like they bring something like that unique, and then so recently I just saw that Far Cry 6 is having a kind of like a Stranger Things crossover. So I'm like, that intrigued me, and I'm like, I got to check that out. See how that plays out. So that's one thing that they do. They're pretty good at. So we're all fortunate, and here we have this. I think that the open world element of this intrigued more people than if it was just like a Dark Souls, where they're at like 4 or whatever. Sekiro did very well, and the reaction that this is getting, and this one sold over 12 million already. I would be surprised if this doesn't win Game of the Year.
Oh, I think this is. I think this is it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, like Starfield, when that comes out, probably a little too late.
It's not gonna make
when it's coming out. Maybe if God of War Ragnarok comes out, that might be one that would compete. And then I would say, you got to throw in a good indie game. It seemed like these past few years you got a good indie game that's in the mix. So, and right now I can't think of. We got a few that are still going to come out. So
I don't know how. I don't know how Elden Ring doesn't win Game of the Year. Honestly, it has every makings of what that Game of the Year is going to be. I mean, Ragnarok's going to have to come out and hit 10s across the board to beat Elden Ring. And I don't know that. I don't know that Ragnarok is going to make 2022.
yeah, that's not a guarantee. And I do think whether games will get delayed or, like last week we were talking about issues with what's going on in studios. And Horizon Forbidden West is a good game, but as of course, we have Peter who's been playing it, and it's a good game, but it doesn't seem like it's all that. It has its issues, right?
Yeah, he's finding more and more bugs with it.
And I've seen other people talk about it, and every game has bugs and they have issues. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. And everybody, it's subjective. But I think, these past couple of years where studios have struggled. No matter how good a studio is, you're always going to have people come and go, or somehow they're affected by the pandemic or whatever. And there could have been some effect on these games, right? We've seen it on some, not all. Some studios are like rock solid, right? They've been able to pull through and release some solid games.
Yep.
But
you saw, you even saw that what was it yesterday? Rocksteady had announced that they were, they're delaying Suicide Squad till 2023.
Yeah. And I honestly wasn't sure really that was going to come out this year.
Well, it's definitely not now.
We'll see. So I'll be surprised if Ragnarok comes out. Even I forgot who we were listening to. Even Redfall could get delayed because we haven't really seen much, right?
I know.
So, they're working on it. Starfield's being worked. I think Starfield will come out this year. I don't think they would have came out and said much to it, because Bethesda's pretty good about. They normally don't come out and say much until they're ready. Soon, 6 months or so.
It's not often that they throw a release date out a year in advance.
Yeah.
I remember when Fallout 76 was coming out, they announced that year. They announced it at that E3.
And then I saw something too, like the game Avalanche is working on, Contraband. That, I don't know how true it is, but they were looking at possibly this year, but it may not make it till 23. And I'm like, well, honestly, we just heard about it not too long ago. Last year? I didn't think it would come out this year. So if it does come out 23, okay.
I didn't think Contraband was a 2022 game.
Yeah.
We don't even know anything about it.
I know. Well, a little bit, but it's just not enough. They've been kind of quiet, so.
Well,
you just never know.
Yeah,
So I think Xbox has been kind of quiet on their end ever since the whole announcement about Activision, and I'm sure they're already prepared because they did say they're going to have an E3 like show, so they might be holding a lot of their cards for that. Hopefully we get a nice big E3 show from Xbox. Because these past couple of years, it kind of it's a drag. You get a little show, and then they're like, okay, we're going to show something a little more, maybe in the summer. And then, then we had to wait for like what? We thought we were going to get, somewhat like an XO 21 or whatever. Or now you have to wait till the Game Awards show, right? because they like to save a little bit for that. So hopefully this year, with a lot, there's a lot of games in development, and they're getting closer, whether this year or next year, and 24, that we see a little bit more. They give us a little bit bigger show. So,
Well, I'm
and
hoping
maybe
that
after that,
that's, and maybe
that
that's the closer to the end of the year. But
yeah,
I think they do, and you know how I feel about this stuff. I think that I will always die on the hill that I think if they have a game coming out in 2023, they need to, maybe towards the end of the year, they need to tell us what's going on so we have some idea of what to look forward to, what to budget
yeah,
for, what to, well, you don't need to budget for them. They're going to come to Game Pass, so I don't need to
yeah.
budget. I don't need to budget for them. But
No,
I'd like to know where things are, and I'm hoping to hear more about Hellblade 2, because that's a
yeah.
game seriously on my radar.
Well, they showed it twice
They did.
at the Game Awards
They did.
when they
We got
first revealed it,
game.
and they showed this last one, right?
Yep, we got gameplay, which
Yeah.
looked great.
And honestly, I would not be surprised if that thing comes out early next year. Like that's a February game. I would not be surprised.
I could see
I
it being a
think they're
February
getting closer to
2023.
that, like where they want to have a big game every quarter. So I think they're getting closer to that. So if anything,
It's
let's say,
new.
yeah, new.
Yeah.
Like who? I wouldn't be surprised if they release Redfall, and then they also mention Forza Motorsport.
Yeah,
Because normally they don't really say much on Forza until right around E3 time, right?
yes,
Then they show it. So it's not like
and
it's a big game, but it's not like the biggest game on top of their list. So
no, but
you
it's
know,
time.
yeah,
Especially with GT7 out now. Now it's time to show.
I think
Now
so.
it's time to show Forza Motorsport, especially
Yeah.
since, and I'm sorry, but man, GT7 has missed the boat with this microtransaction thing. I mean, and then they had a chance. We talked about it last week. They had a chance to fix that and double down on screwing their customers, and that's a shame because, as we were talking about, there's a lot of good that I like about GT7.
hmm
Man, unbelievable. So now's the time.
Yeah. Sean in chat said that he would love to go to E3. He would love to see Atari at E3 in the future. Who knows? I've seen Atari making more noise these past few days. Well, I guess for a little while, ever
Mhm.
since the VCS. It seemed like they've been bringing out more and more, talking more about it since it
Yep.
came out. So it seemed like it's doing okay.
I need to get the recharged games either on the Xbox or the PlayStation. I need to start playing those.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for these reimagined games. It's why I am drawn to the Amico.
Yeah.
Because that reimagined Astro Smash just drags me right in every time. So on the Atari side, I have no dislike for Atari. In fact,
Yeah. Of course
I
not.
actually I'll tell you what one of my regrets is, Chris. I sold my Jaguar and my Jaguar games in order to get enough money to get the original, the Xbox One Day One edition. And I thought, I'm never gonna play this thing. It's gonna sit in my, and I regret selling it. And I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
And one day, if I can find it cheap enough, and it's not cheap right now, it's, for some reason, it seems to be somewhat collectible. If I can get it cheap, I'm I'm going to pick another one up.
Yeah.
But like right now, I'd been looking on, if you look like on eBay and stuff like that, there is a like the cheapest one I'm able to find is like $600-700.
Wow.
Cheapest. So
Yeah. I mean, retro has really been a huge thing for the past few years. It's grown a lot, and ever since YouTube and streaming services have come around, and you have so many people out there that have their own channel, whether or not they're like, hardcore gamers or not, but it seemed like it's the thing now to have retro games and to sit there and say, hey, look what about this old Super NES or whatever, and games, and then it doesn't matter, male or female. You have people all over from all parts of the world, um, just making a big deal about retro gaming, and I think that's driven up the cost a lot because I still want to get a Sega Master System. I've always liked the way it looked. I've always liked the way the cases look. Simple, but I don't know what it is with that white with the grid look, and then you have the art on the front.
the art style's
And
great.
I don't know why, but even when I first saw those way back in the day when they came out, and it's just like, oh, I kind of like that. Uh, I don't think any of the Nintendo box art or any of that. And I've always liked the cartridges, but
Oh,
you know, so it's interesting how the retro. And so with the Atari, I wasn't sure what to expect from the Atari VCS. And Sean has been, you know, I recommend people, go follow Sean on Twitter, and he has a YouTube channel, and he likes to show off some of his games from the Atari VCS. And he's a big fan of it. He's also a supporter of Intellivision. So, there's room for all these, the old school retro companies to reimagine the old school consoles, reimagine the old school games and refresh them and stuff like that. So, and plus,
hey,
the Atari, you also see it supporting indie games.
yes, you do.
So and we know that we're going to get that from Amico also on television. So, it's another unique place for small developers to where, they don't have to sit there and just rely on trying to put their stuff on the big, three, and maybe cheaper for them and easier for them to, put it on the Atari VCS and Amico.
Yeah, most
And get some
definitely.
unique games out of it. So
Absolutely, and that's part of the appeal. And by the way, shout out, brother Frankie's in the chat. Viper Strike is here, and he is giving out codes. He just sent me one as well that I'm gonna give out for A Place for the Unwilling. I'm gonna give it out in a little bit. So, brother Frankie's good to see you.
Frankie, appreciate it.
Brother Project Jeff is here. Brother Noof is here. Hey, brother Mav is in the house. What's up? What's going on, brother Mav?
I know earlier he was talking about Tiny Tina.
Yes, I know.
That's today. So
I believe that he is excited for that.
That's another big game that people have been talking about here lately too.
I might have to check that one out, but I've got so many other games to check out. That's cool. So he's about to play. If we end early, which we probably will, we're not going to go to midnight tonight. So when we're done, hop over to Fun Speculation, check out some Tiny Tina. I know I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll punch this into the chat for A Place for the Unwilling, which I have not seen. I'm looking that up real quick. I want to see what that is.
What's for dinner tonight?
Grub time. I love grub time. So let's see. A Place for the Unwilling. Let's see what this is. Every choice matters.
Oh
All right,
yeah, the
hang on.
Kirby game is coming out.
Oh yeah.
And Ghostwire. Hey,
Who was Ghostwire's coming out? Go Game Go was going to do some Kirby. If Jeff hasn't
okay.
already.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get to where I browser. Here we go. Oops.
Ooh, lasagna.
Oh, very nice. Take some lasagna. All right, hang on. Let's go to the browser. Let's go here, and let's check this out. Hang on, I'm working on. Here we go. Hopefully
Yeah, it
this-
is, Mav.
A place for the unwilling. Let's see what it is that Frankie is giving away.
Hmm.
Frankie's awesome that way.
My time is running out, my dear friend. I know you.
Well, Frankie loves his indie
understand
games,
why I
that's for
did
sure.
not believe me.
I love indie games too.
It was
Oh,
my
there's
own
Go
Oh, we
Game
are.
Go.
out.
There's Jeff. He heard his name. Kirby comes out tomorrow.
What's up, Jeb? Go Game Go.
Oh, I love this kind of art style, man.
Like a survival.
I don't know. It has a completely hand-drawn look.
Yeah,
Ooh, Syndic.
it is cool.
My dear friend, I know you won't believe it after so many years, but I have no alternative. I can only
Got that
trust you.
cartoon kind of look.
You'll come to
So,
the city.
I know one person has already
You never failed
won.
me.
Already, I think
know
who
you won't fail me now,
who
my
picked
dear
up that
friend.
code?
You will come to this
Project
city
Jeff got that
and you will
code.
understand why I did it. All I own is now yours. My
Alright.
business.
So hang on,
My
I'm gonna
reputation,
grab the
my
other one and
contacts.
put it in the chat.
I only ask you for one thing. For you to look after my people. For you to take care of my mother and Juliet. But be careful. This city isn't what it seems. It hides secrets. Terrible secrets.
Secrets. Nice.
Hmm.
Now this is for Xbox. This code does definitely look Xbox.
It's interesting.
Nice. That's why I pulled the Xbox code. All right, so here is the second code for a place for the unwilling. If you get this, please by all means tell us in the chat and thank our brother Viper Strike. Some of you do not know Frankie. Frankie is he is NLG alumni, and as always will always be a part of our family. And we miss him. We miss him. So, oh, look who we got in the chat now. Look who showed up.
Oh, Mass Ho. What's up, brother?
What is up, brother Mass? Oh.
It took me a little bit out of like.
Oh, okay. So this game was a Kickstarter. Okay, so Frankie said A Place for the Unwilling is a Kickstarter game that he backed 7 years ago, was on Stadia for a bit, and this week came to everything else. So, can anyone take the code? It's an open code, as long as you can use it, Anthium. That's the key. If you've got an Xbox and you can use it, first come, first serve. So. Mentioned Boogie Wigs and Bacon Ice Cream Production. What's up, Brother Rich? What's going on? Brother Rich is in the house. We got a bunch of Gamers United Guild in the chat. Go Game Go, Geeks with Cash, Bacon Ice Cream Productions. Of course, Daddy J from Retro Renegades, one of the founding members of the GUG, Noof Nukem, who I am going to Jewish guilt out of not actually leaving YouTube. It's going to happen. I know Noof. I want to shout out Noof real quick.
Yeah.
So Noof announced that life is kind of changing up for him. Things are moving and shaking in his world, and unfortunately, he's hanging up the YouTube at the end of April, and since he's not here to defend himself, I'm going to just wax a little poetic on him a little bit. We just brought Noof into the Gamers United Guild, and for excellent reason. As long as he's still going, I ask you, I beseech you guys, check out Gaming After Dark on Tuesday nights after Retro Renegades, and definitely on Sundays. Check out Xbox, Good Morning Xbox. It's a Sunday morning show with an incredible crew, which features, like Axel1324 Gaming, Scrub Nurse, Noof, a couple other folks that I feel horrible because Sundays are Sunday school. I can't watch his show live. And I wish I could. During the summertime I could, but he won't be on during the summertime anymore. But Noof is an incredible guy. He's been so welcoming. Chris, I know he's had all of us on Gaming After Dark at one point.
Yeah.
He's been here a couple times, and I still Noof, because I invited Noof on this week with Peter absent. Noof, if you're still there and you want to jump in, by all means, because we do want to kind of start making our way towards our topics, but Noof is a great guy. I'm really gonna miss having him on YouTube. Obviously, he's welcome here anytime he wants.
Oh yeah.
And he really does have a hell of a show. Him and Titan Drago on Tuesday nights. MAGG was with him for a while, and MAGG was an incredible talent. Had life did the same thing to him, right? He got a new job he got a promotion at his job that took him off of, Oh, that's right. Titan is taking over, and then then when Noof comes back,
that's good. Keep it going. The shows, they're still part of the guild.
Yeah.
Keep supporting. Keep doing their thing, and it's like you said, that life just sometimes takes a curve. You got to take another road and take a break. But we're always here. We're all family, and I've always enjoyed Noof going way back. When he was on other shows, podcasts I used to watch, and I've always enjoyed his takes and his opinions. And then when he started doing his, the voices, and and then when he had his own show, it's just fun. I mean, it's if I could stay up, sometimes I'm able to stay up because they are kind of late on Tuesday night for me, and I always try to at least stay up until Arnold comes on, or when MAGG was on, to get the Tony Baloney, or then you have to have Titan Drago's corner, and it's like they get you, it's like, oop, here comes Arnold, and then you stay longer on, and then next thing you know, I'm staying on watching almost to the end. And then of course, what he's done with Good Morning Xbox. That's mine showed in the morning, because I get up early on Sundays, and I like to just sit down and game, drink some coffee, and I'll have them on, and I always look forward to that because that's 8 a.m. for me. And that it's a good show, good people on there, and I love interacting with all those people. So Noof has definitely had an impact in the gaming community, and what he's done, and we'll see him again. He'll be back.
He will. It won't be the last time you see him, because we're gonna drag his ass on here from time to time.
He's gonna be on. He's gonna get so many invites to be on so many different shows. He's gonna be like, yeah, shit. Let me get back on my show.
Right. He'll be on every show but his own.
Yeah.
No. And that also speaks to when you get. Don't get me wrong. The the voices are awesome, and whenever he goes into Arnold, I always turn down the TV and go, hey, Michelle, my wife, hey, Arnold's on, and she gets a kick out of it too because he sounds just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But when you get past that, which is awesome and entertaining, Noof is highly intelligent when it comes to gaming topics. I mean, he knows what's going on, and that's why I kind of wanted him on tonight if he was able to, because he's talked about some of this stuff before, and he is really knowledgeable. And so we're losing a good guy in the community here, and am I pouring it on too thick for you, Noof? Because I could take the guilt up to my guilt goes to 11.
But also another thing too, that he's a genuine person. When you listen to him on his shows, he's not just playing some kind of stick, like you said, besides the voices. I mean, he comes out and he actually just says it how it is. And no matter, he doesn't play one side or the other, and he'll say something that some people are like, try to trigger people, and and I don't know how many times I would tell him in Twitter, I'll be like, Noof, don't worry about it. That's how you feel. Who cares what some of these people think? So
I'm bringing the Canadian shout out to Noof right now. That's right. Masshole knows, because Masshole is part of the tribe. Jewish guilt is the guilt of all guilts. It is the supreme guilt. If you thought that like Italian guilt was good, and Italian guilt's pretty good too. But Jewish guilt is if you can survive Jewish guilt, then you can be interrogated by an enemy army and not give it up. So but I just want to give a shout out to Noof.
Southern guilt.
Yeah.
You got that
Southern
too.
guilt. There is the Southern
guilt. You got the Hispanic guilt too.
That's true. That's true.
Guilt. In all languages and culture, one way or another.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. My mother still calls me every day to tell me, or still calls me every year on my birthday to tell me how she carried me for 9 months and 17 hours of labor, and so yes, the Jewish guilt it's a powerful thing. So Noof, I'm coming for you. So seriously, we are gonna miss Gaming After Dark and Xbox. Well, I mean, Gaming After Dark is staying around with Titan, so let me not say that. We're gonna miss Noof on Gaming After Dark. I do not want to take anything away from Titan Drago, because I didn't know Titan really until Gaming After Dark. And it's funny, he's never been on when I'm on. Never. He's been ducking me. And we're gonna fix that too.
He's gonna need some guests.
He's gonna need some guests, and he's gonna have to come on NLG. He can't stop ducking our show too.
No, we need to get him on, and maybe one of these days we can do and then of course the crossover where all three of us go over there.
We can invade.
Yes.
So, all right. So sadly, I do want to get to at least our first topic as we're going along, because we're getting on 10 o'clock. We've spent our hour talking to our wonderful chat and just chopping it up. I'll tell you what though, I love it. I love that we could just kind of chat and BS for an hour, and I love that we can do that.
Well, maybe it makes you wonder. Peter's not here, and we're still doing it. So me and you are the main culprits who keep on and on. Peter will chime in. He's gaming. He's listening. Then he'll chime in. But you and I are the guilty ones who keep it going.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. You know who else is guilty? Our chat. Because
Yeah.
they're so awesome. They are awesome. They are engaged. Yeah, Niall says he's ducking you like Mayweather. I know. New faint Pong soul. Pong is like everywhere. So, who is a dream guest for the NLG show? Ooh, a dream guest.
Mm.
Are we talking industry or just in general? I'm not gonna lie. My dream guest. How dare you, sir? Just because I've known him, at one time before he went off and did soccer, and he's at Unity now. I would have to say my dream guest would be Peter Moore, which is weird because I've talked to Peter Moore personally, right, at E3s and launch at the 360 launch events, and just on Facebook. I've had conversations with him, but he would be my dream guest to have on here because so much history with both Sega and Microsoft, and right in that wheelhouse of time for me where Next Level Gaming was honestly in its heyday. Or in the words of my podcast, shut up, Myke. He would be my dream guest. How about you, Chris? Who would be your dream guest if we had one?
I wouldn't mind. I know it could be, cliche or ironic, especially I'm wearing a hat. I wouldn't mind Phil on just because definitely have a lot of respect for how he's handled things these past few years. Getting promoted and making changes, getting promoted again and again. Well, I think he seems like a decent guy overall. He's a gamer, and he definitely would fit in with us and be able to talk, everything that we do. It seemed like a down earth, person for being in the position that he's in, right?
He does.
He does seem very open. Of course, I know it's hard for him. He can't just go on any podcast and this and that. He does pick and choose. So, but honestly, I wouldn't mind. I know I even what's his name, Ice-T. I wouldn't mind having on just because I know he's a gamer, and of course he's been he's been part of Gears, right?
Right.
So I wouldn't mind like just to have him on and listen to his gaming history because he is old school like us, and he's still a gamer, and just to see listen to stories that he might have too. So people like that are somewhat up there as a celebrity and all that, but they're also gamers. It would be fun and cool just to hang out with people like that. But I would love if we got Peter Moore on.
I would love.
I can imagine just the knowledge, the history, the stories that he has, from everywhere he was at, from EA to Xbox, stuff that, of course, you were up there, you met him, and you had some insight in there at E3, and just everything that us who have been there for a long time and we've read, you read things in magazines about these guys. Would be a big one.
Yeah, I may take a shot at it. I'll tell you what. I'll take a shot at Peter. You take a shot at Phil.
I'll try.
I think we can. I think between the two of us, we'll get nowhere, but we could try.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
That's all you can do. So,
Yeah.
It's funny because I was this close to having Peter, but he had just gotten the job with Liverpool. And he was like, there's no chance that I'm going to be able, because he was going back over to Europe. He's like, there's no way I'm going to have the time. I remember he messaged me back on Facebook and he said, I wish you'd have asked me 6 months ago. And I'm like, well, 6 months ago, I wouldn't have asked you because I wouldn't have known you'd say yes.
Yeah.
So,
what is he doing now?
He works for Unity.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
He's got to have some time now.
I would think so. And I know he likes to reminisce. I know he likes to. And I want him to tell people once and for all that, that the Halo tattoo is real.
Yeah.
No. In fact, he was just he had just tweeted out today that they're working on volumetric video for touchscreens. That's coming by the end of the year. And that should be kind of a neat thing. So we'll see what that is. It's volumetric video of live sports, basically.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so let's talk about some real shit going on in our industry. I know normally I try to keep it light and airy, except when we argue about fun stuff. But I got a serious burr up my rear end this week, and I feel like it's time to talk it through. And it's time to call some folks out. More and our fill of Phil. ONLG doubleheader and 6-hour marathon, but Peter's got to be on to keep the intro hour manageable.
Yeah.
Oh. So, over at GamesBeat, which is VentureBeat, Dean Takahashi, on the 18th of March, wrote an article about Moon Studios, and I didn't catch it until this week. Unfortunately, this past weekend was my climbing weekend, so a little side note. Most people who know that I've been getting in shape, losing weight, getting strong, that was this past weekend, and I accomplished my goal. So I didn't get a chance to see this because I was at camp all week. I come back where I'm on Retro Roots on Monday. On Tuesday, I sort of finally settle in and catch up on news, and I caught this. Hey, Big Mad Mo, what's going on? So I'm going to read this from Dean's article on VentureBeat from the 18th. Gaming fans know Moon Studios for its amazing Ori games with beautiful art and emotional stories. But a number of current and former employees consider the Ori studio an oppressive place to work. That is according to GameBeat's interviews with Moon developers. They go on to talk about Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, and how great it is. But the studio's behind-the-scenes atmosphere does not match the tranquility of its games. Based on interviews with current and former employees, many employees had problems with founders Thomas Mahler and I'm gonna butcher this, Gennady Koral. I'm sorry. It is illuminating to see these allegations arose at a small company with all remote practices, a private company that treasures its independence and its anti-corporate culture. Still, the casual racism, sexism, and bullying amount to what one developer said was death by 1,000 cuts. And as I started to continue to read through this, and I'm gonna show an image, and I'm not. Some of this stuff might be more benign than others, but still, not what you want. I'm part of a company, that does all remote too, and we have meetings all the time. And I don't know anybody. This is a private sample of chat amongst the studio founders. So this is Nadia and Thomas. This is benign stuff, right? They talk back and forth, whatever. But it's some of the other things that they've done that you don't even joke about. And I find interesting that in this day and age, and I'll talk about that in a second, that in this day and age, some of the things that are going on here are even a thing. So I want to key in on this. And again, normally I'm not the kind of guy who gets offended by things like this, but I can see other people getting offended by this. So a comment by, this is the studio head. Tyler's the only person who's aware of my devious plans to kill the Jews by making them work to death through game development. In a text to chat that was available for anyone in the company to read. That is not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay. And as I continue to read through this article, one developer said that the chat was rough because the founders felt free to make jokes about their penis sizes. Again, that's not okay. And at my job, this is, my CEO would call this a career limiting decision to do things like this. We don't talk like this at my job.
Yeah.
And I am shocked that in 2022, this is what is going on at even small development studios. I'm trying. There was a little more. Like while Moon's games have won praise, those who left the company say they were scarred with mental health problems. Now, could some of that be here? Mahler wanted a character in an upcoming game to be raped. It took about a month to convince him that this was a bad idea for a plot in a video game, where the object was to provide the character with a motivation for revenge. That's not, I don't know, it's,
Okay.
Right. So their response was, oh, well, we don't believe these experiences suggested are representative of the more 80 Moon Studios team members who are thriving and doing great work every day. This is where I get a little bent out of shape. There's evidence of it. I mean, this is just a small sampling of what's in their chat. Their public chat. And things like jokes about penis sizes, devious plans to kill the Jews by making them work through death. And I get that people can look at that as a joke. And if I know I've had conversations like Cerebral Paul, and like Paul and I joke around like that, right? But to each other, not in front of the entire Gamers United guild, right? Not in front of my job, not in front of his job. If we work together, we wouldn't say that in the middle of a meeting where the entire rest of the company is. You don't do that.
No.
That's ugly. And then to basically put out a statement that says, you know, whatever. They don't represent all the people who are happy here. And the only thing that they said was, if we ever made anyone feel uncomfortable or let down, we regret that and will always strive to do better. Seriously? You know? And okay, so sure, they're Jews as well. Got it. But they of all people should know there's a place for it and there's a place not for it. And in the workplace amongst everybody else, ain't the place for it.
Yeah.
So, the reason that I bring this up is because it's another place. It's another story we're hearing. Here, let me bring this back up because this was one of the interviewers, people they interviewed. It's an oppressive workplace for sure, but it's hard to pinpoint one thing because in isolation, all of these incidents, if they happen at once, you would think they're small things. So, right, if Thomas Mahler, who himself is a Jew, makes a joke about, at his own expense, okay, fine. But when you're dealing with that for multiple years, you're going to see the decline of people's mental health. I can say that for myself personally. I was properly messed up after we finished. I've never been depressed until that moment. I lost my passion for my job because they drummed it out of me. And the developers who spoke with GameSpeed had a common interest. They wanted other developers to know what it was like to work there before joining. That's nuts.
Yeah. So the studio is not huge, right?
No.
And I'm sure the founders and those who they got with them to come on board when they started the studio, they probably knew these people. They had their own clique. And they were probably used to joke around, acting up like that among each other, right?
Right.
So they've already, among themselves, they already fostered an environment where they can just cut up and say whatever. Neither one of them gets offended because that's just, a lot of places are like that. And I would say it's like that at my work because I work in aviation and we have a lot of people. But you also work on small groups, and I've been doing this going back to 94. So I've been on several crews and where you have people from all backgrounds and my first crew I've ever was on, even military, where people were joking around all the time. And I thought they were funny. Now I can't say for sure what all we joked around, but there's all kinds of stuff. Some people made fun of each other, this and that, but I don't think anybody took offense to it. But over the years, you would get different people come in and join your crew, and you can tell who fits and I remember one time we would tell, and this is back in the 90s, we would tell people who would join us that, hey, we like to joke around, nothing personal, if you're the type, and this would be told to people back then, if you're the type that can't handle joking around, this may not be the place for you. And this is back in the 90s. That's how it was back then. And
Right.
Of course, you go back further, because back then you really we didn't have sex harassment courses, ethics, diversity. So as the years went by,
It's funny you mention that.
Yeah. And so as the years went by and we've gotten bigger, we're working for a huge company like Lockheed, right? they have all that stuff set in place. There's a reason why they do, because you have people from all around. Not everybody's the same, and people have to understand that just because you and your clique can joke around and you are okay, doesn't mean that it's okay for other people to accept that, or that if they don't like it, then they can leave. You know, you have to be professional, especially in the workplace. You know, there's a time and place. If you want to do that after work, you know, you can have fun and joke around, but you got to be, you know, be careful how you can have fun. You just don't need to be ugly about it and personal stuff like that. Not because, you know, what you might think is funny, someone else won't. And I've never agreed in my workplace. You know, I've always joked around and I like to have fun. I have a good sense of humor, but I never liked anybody who would pick on people and for on purpose and be ugly. And I made sure to, you know, say it to a couple people, you know, hey, dude, you know, you got to be, you know, chill out, be cool, you know, just leave the person alone. Uh, and there were times we had this one guy that was ugly, always joking around, and he was personal with people. And several times I was called into HR because they would ask, "Did you hear him say this around, you know, at this time?" And it's like, so I had to talk with the guy. I told him, "Dude, you need to stop. You need to quit being like that with people." I said, we joke around on the crew, but we're not like that. And I will not, we don't want to deal with your drama and the way you are with people. So you need to cut it. So after that, he stopped. Some people don't speak up, right? Some people are afraid. So you may be part of the clique, but if you don't speak up and say, hey, you know, that wasn't cool, then things can get out of hand. And so you have these people at these studios who everybody's different. Some people, they just, you know, they might joke around at first, but they can't handle. After a while, it's like, okay, enough is enough. And some people don't know how to turn it off, and they just keep on rubbing, you know, ugly and you know. So these people have legitimate complaints now,
When it's
you
the
know,
two founders of the studio, which is really what
because they
makes it
fostered
bad.
that environment from the beginning,
Yep.
and they didn't know how to turn it off, and that's just the way it was. And they're like, they probably told people, hey, we like to have fun here, we'd like to chill, you know, as long as you get your work done. And I'm sure they put pressure on people to get these two games done. You know, uh, everybody's different. Generations are different, right? Jokes are different among generations, especially
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. Times are different. You can't joke around like you used to back in the day.
No.
Work environment, what, you know, the young generation nowadays, what they call, what to me is overtime, and they call it crunch. So nowadays, crunch is the word for overtime, and it sounds bad, right? And some people, no matter what, no, either gen, doesn't matter what generation you are, don't like overtime. So some people, you know, some people like it because they like the extra money. They don't mind, you know, some people have families and this and that. So, you know, if they feel pressured that, well, if they don't work overtime, then, you know, maybe the management and so on make them feel uncomfortable. So it's not easy uh, when you have a work environment where you have multiple people, but you do have to find a way to where you can foster an environment to where you can be fair among everybody and treat each other right, and you can still have fun. But like I was gonna say, like I brought up earlier, so a lot like these small companies here, they probably don't have no HR, and if they did have an HR, it could be like a family member is running HR. So technically, HR is not really representing and supportive of the employees. Like they might say they are, but they're really in backed up. They're really backing up the managers or the founders, right?
Right.
Whoever's in charge.
And
Eh,
that's the sad part. You know, you know me, I am not that I'm just going to say it outright. I'm not the woke type, right? I don't go in for that.
Yeah.
You know, I see too much of that, too much cancel culture. I see too much. But there's a difference between having that open and fun atmosphere that lets you be creative and speak out and stuff like that, and actually from the top treating your employees that way, thinking that
Yeah.
this is okay when it's really not. And you know, I look at Double Fine. Double Fine's not a big studio. Um, uh, you don't hear this stuff coming from Double Fine even before Microsoft bought them. You know, what bothers me is that this seems to be an issue that isn't just Moon Studios, and Moon Studios isn't as necessarily. And it's weird to say this because I don't want to diminish what the folks who were talking about Moon Studios are saying, but look at everything that has gone on in the landscape. Activision Blizzard. I mean, I don't know if you knew this, but Activision Blizzard has yet a new lawsuit that just hit yesterday, alleging that a current employee experienced sexual harassment and discrimination there, and was retaliated against for speaking out. I mean, this is, in fact, the woman. I'm reading it now. The suit was filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court on behalf of an employee referred to as Jane Doe by attorney Lisa Bloom. According to the complaint, she began working at Activision in 2017 as a senior administrative assistant to executives in the IT department. Which automatically I'm gonna be angry about this because I'm in IT and I would never treat anybody this way. On her first day of work at an initiation lunch, she was pressured to take tequila shots and was told by leadership that as part of her initiation, she needed to share an embarrassing secret to everyone, the lawsuit says. Doe alleges she was often pressured to drink alcohol, to participate in the cube crawls that they were talking about, that we heard about, where women were subjected to sexual comments and groping, and to stay late after work to participate in a game called Jackbox, which Joe says she was told was to determine how well she'd fit in with the group. According to the woman, the game required each individual to suggest creative answers to various questions that were mostly sexual in nature. And it goes on. I mean, there's more to this.
Yeah.
There's more to this that, is just, it's just disgusting. She applied to try to escape it. She applied to and was rejected from many other open positions in the company. She wrote complaining and writing to Blizzard's then president, Alan J. Brack, about the sexual harassment and retaliation. Only after that complaint was she offered a role in a different department, which she accepted despite the lower status and significant salary decrease. I mean, and then, hold on, there's more. Doe says after she applied for an open executive assistant position in November 2021, but that after she spoke at a press conference in December about the sexual harassment, discrimination, and retaliation she had endured, her application was rejected. Are we sure Phil wants them?
Well, things are going to be different.
Oh, yeah.
Once he's in charge. I'm not going to tolerate.
So
I'm sure there's going to be zero tolerance.
I hope. And Lance, so they're by the way, they're talking about AEW in the chat.
Yeah.
So and Matt, he says, I'm sure these devs will learn from this and make some changes. I hope so.
Yeah.
Because now it's out there. I mean, now
Yeah.
it's out there for people to see. And another report that I had read from another publication said that they insulted and bullied Xbox teams, and then Microsoft is not going to work with Moon Studios again. So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it all starts at the top. So if they fostered that environment among themselves in the beginning, and that they didn't change anything when they just expected people, hey, come on board. You know, this is what we do. This is what we like to do. Like I told you, we've been on crews in the past where we would tell people, we like to joke around, have fun. If you can't handle that, this may not be the crew for you. And that's probably the type of environment they have now, and they've had, and they didn't change when they grew their studio. And these people are, you know, I don't know how old they are, but maybe some of them are younger than us and immature, and they just want to have fun, and they don't think about other people's uh, feelings and background, and you know, not everybody's the same. And so now, over the years, because like I said, they fostered this environment and they didn't see a problem with it. Well, now it is a problem, and it is going to affect their business because Xbox said they're not going to deal with them anymore, not going to publish their games. They can find other publishers,
Sure.
but they might struggle finding the right people that would fit that they need to work on their games, because if you know, now people see this and they say, well, that's not the type of place I want to work at. You know, they're going to lose out on some talented people. So it could affect them going forward. And who knows? Another publisher might, other bigger publishers said, nope, I don't want to have none of that either. So, and rightfully so, they deserve that backlash, because if that's exactly what happened in the workplace, and that's what these people are saying, then, you know, shame on them. And like you said, you know, someone in the chat brought up Ubisoft
Oh
had their
yeah.
problems.
Good
Obviously,
Lord.
Activision. We saw also something about PlayStation offices, you know, I guess their headquarters or whatever. It's everywhere. It's rampant. It's in multiple countries. Um, just some
Yeah.
people just some people just don't realize, and they're jerks, and they think just because they have fun among themselves, and they expect people to follow suit. And you know, if you don't laugh with us and joke with us and want to do what we do, then you know, oh well, bye. You know, maybe they make them feel uncomfortable, and some of them to the point where they just don't want to be around. I've seen that in my workplace, you know. So it all comes down to the, you know, where you work, and you try to stamp it out and you say, look, you know, uh, we want to have fun here. We need to include everybody. And I've always tried to make a point where, you know, just because someone's not really, like, they don't really talk much and they don't joke around with us, 'cause, you know, some of us that known each other for a long time, you try to help them feel included. Hey, let's go to lunch. You want to go to lunch with us? Or, you know, just talk to them, you know, get to know them a little bit. And sometimes that helps break the ice. And, you show that, hey, that you care about them. And sometimes, you know, people open up over time, and, you know, things are cool. And, um, and not too long ago at our work, some of the guys, between the couple guys on days and nights, you know, people were joking around, things were said. Someone took it seriously and went to HR, and not to, and so they had these. One guy got suspended for a little bit until they investigate. And once they did the investigation, nobody got fired, but they ended up having the whole crew go into HR, and they talked about, you know, about horse playing around and joking and this and that. And then, you know, you just can't do that openly, and especially among everybody, male, female, whatever. So, and someone said that the HR lady had made a comment, we're not a football team, we're not a sports team. You can't just go and pat each other on the ass.
Right.
'Cause this is not that type of place where you do that. It might work over there in sports where the coach and players could do that, but that doesn't work here. So, be cool, have fun, be respectful, and and if I was like Xbox, right, and you work with so many studios, they're not part of Xbox, and maybe that's one thing that they can, when they talk to these studios and try to get to know them, and ask them, I know you're a small studio, but what kind of environment do you have? What kind of environment do you foster? Do you have an HR? Do you try to have a positive environment? I'm feeling I've made it clear where they want to be inclusive, right?
Yes.
So I think they're going to try to be more careful who they deal with.
That has been his central theme for a long time now, making game development inclusive, making gamers inclusive, and I'm all about that. I'm all about giving people that are talented and that can do the job, right?
Yeah.
Because I still believe where and I know this is a taboo thing to say, but I also believe you need to be able to do the job, right? You got to be able to perform.
Yeah.
But if you can perform and you can create a beautiful game, I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you do.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to play your product. And and it's a shame because while I'm not I what I don't understand is even 2017, 2018, like Ubisoft's issues were like 2 years ago. And I mean if some of the stuff that came out of Ubisoft was unbelievable and involved their chief creative officer, involved they had if I remember correctly, and I'm just trying to look it up to make sure I'm right about this, I'm pretty sure they had 11 people of their senior leadership leave.
Yeah.
Because of this. Creative director from Far Cry Splinter Cell resigned his post. Ubisoft put, so in early July 2020, I think this is 2020, Splinter Cell and Far Cry creative director Maxime Belan resigned from his post to Ubisoft. Ubisoft reportedly put 2 other senior executives and several other employees on leave after multiple allegations of sexual assault and harassment were made against a number of Ubisoft employees, including vice presidents, marketer, their marketing guy, their Valhalla creative director also stepped down. Good grief. And what I Project Jeff, I won't be surprised if Bobby K leaves, but Yves Guillemot is not leaving Ubisoft. The Guillemot family is not going to give up control of Ubisoft. And I don't necessarily know if he was in this like Bobby Kotick was for Activision. I don't think he was. He never seemed like that kind of person. He's always been very, like, if you ever watch him in public, he is very humble. And he speaks so very highly. Like, he would come out at the end of his at Ubisoft's E3 conferences, and he would be so praiseful is the, see, now I'm trying to find a word to match that. You know, he would shine so much praise on his teams. So I don't know if he's the Bobby Kotick of Ubisoft, but man, they basically had to gut a good bit of their senior leadership over this. And I know a couple people that I semi-followed on Twitter, that I semi talked to on Twitter because I knew them from the old NLG days, my old days, that shocked me when they were fired for this. And I have no intentions of bringing anybody's name up. But I was devastated when they were fired. Because I can't wrap my head around this, you know,
Yeah.
especially in a day and age where everybody is trying to highlight inclusivity. And I mean, you know, I don't agree with, again, sorry folks, I don't agree with a lot of what the, you know, woke movement is about. But when it comes to bringing people in and being respectful and not treating females and minorities like shit, because I mean, I can't wrap my head around treating anybody like crap. You know,
Yeah.
I teach everybody knows now that I for Scout Troop, I'm the troop chaplain. And there's a lot of things that I teach the scouts about reverence and about being, you know, the scout law as a scout is kind, courteous, friendly. And, you know, we talk about what that means. And I could never, you know, the golden rule, it's as simple as that. You treat people, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's a basic law. I mean, it's a basic tradition.
Yeah.
So when I see this, when I see Riot Studios having to settle a sexual harassment lawsuit for $100 million. Do you remember that? Remember when remember the big walkout at Riot Games?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't understand how this is and I mean, let's talk about the Sony thing for a minute, because they're not without their choppy waters right now too. They had 8 more women come out in I think this was last week.
Yeah.
To join that class action lawsuit that was filed in 2021 that Sony is trying to get thrown out for lack of evidence. And this came out not in the gaming press at first, but in a kind of a regular news place, Axios.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just dismiss this as, well, you know, these are just angry women, you know. You can't do that, because you can't have this many people come out and say the same thing and not think something is wrong. And Sony's a big company. We're not talking about Riot Games, and we're not even, I mean, we're semi not talking about Ubisoft and Activision. We're talking about Sony, one of the big 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now, I'm wondering if Sony is asking for this to be dismissed because the culture in Asian countries is also different.
It is, yeah.
And that's something that, you know, as Sony begins to move a lot of their operations over here to the West, they got to change. They got to change that.
Yeah, and like you talked about where the culture over there were like some of the anime stuff that's a little questionable. And Sony's they have put a stop to some of that, right? Being either having the game on their platform or uh, could having stuff taken out of the game on their platform. But what's funny, the other Japanese studio, Nintendo, they seem to be, which you would think that they would be a lot stricter on, but they've had some questionable games on their system too.
They have.
So, yeah,
But you don't
uh,
hear anything out of Nintendo as far as this kind of thing.
no,
Um,
but doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. Who knows how they've handled that stuff internally? Um, Even Microsoft, we can't say that Microsoft is
no, you cannot.
perfect, that nothing's ever happened there, that we just don't know. Nobody's innocent.
Oh,
Nobody's uh, at some point or another. Uh, no matter how good of a company you are, and you have you preach respect and diversity and ethics and so on. You have
well,
classes, annual classes. We do at our work. I've always, even at Lockheed, for years, and but you will always have people who will. You always have jerks. You always have assholes, and you always have that will overstep their boundaries in the workplace or even outside. It's always been that way. That's why there are laws out there to help protect people against some of that discrimination and so on. It will always be there. And, now with social media and, like you were saying, other movements and so on. And I think to some point, it's good to where we have kids. I have two daughters. I want them to be able to go out there in the world, in the workplace, and be able to be respected for who they are and what they bring to the workplace and not be treated differently because they're a female, no matter how they look. Um, and like you said, treat people how you want to be treated. But unfortunately, you have people who are just jerks and they're ugly and they're always going to be there. But if you have the right management and they can foster an environment and they can preach that and they do that daily and they stamp out the issues. Do you see people trying to step out of bounds and you get after them right away? You can do it privately, bring them up to the side and have a talk with them. And, some people would be like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. And you move on. So unfortunately, like with this Moon Studio that we've been talking about in the beginning, they didn't do that. And it was the founders that allowed it to happen and they got out of hand and now here we are, articles coming out. And sometimes there would be cases where you have employees, because I've seen it over my years, you just have people who are like disgruntled. They don't like overtime. For some reason, they just don't seem to get along with anybody. They argue with management. And they always have something to complain about. So in some cases, you might have some of those people who will go complain. Let's say they'll go reach out to a journalist or whatever, and they'll make the complaint. And so, like what the guy said, to some degree, let's say you have two or three that complain and they come out. That doesn't necessarily that they represent everybody. Not like out of all those people that worked at Moon, maybe not everybody's like that, right? You can have a clique, and of course, it started with the two founders and they foster that environment. But if you're not part of that clique, but you're there, you work, but you don't do that. And so, but when you have people who are like that, and then they treat people ugly, and then you have people come out and speak out, unfortunately, no matter what, whether you're a part of it or not, you work for the company, and so now you're lumped into that, to where you're labeled as not a good place to work at. And so now people could question you. So if you weren't part of that, but then you go decide, well, I'm going to leave this place and go work somewhere else, and they ask, and of course they're going to say, well, where'd you work? You could try to say, well, I know it came out, the article came out, but I wasn't part of that. Well, how, the damage is already done. So some people are going to, well, I'm not sure, and it can hurt you going on. So those people who are like that are hurt when they hurt others who they're treating disrespectfully. They're also hurting people who are not even part of it. They just want to go to work and do a job and, stay out of trouble, So it's bad all around. And work environments, well, it's funny. I want to say, because, all the years that I've worked, I've seen a lot of improvements, and I've seen more diversity to where, like where I'm at, the majority of people are Hispanic. And I've seen more get promoted to higher level management and different areas. And you see, in the aviation field, you don't see a lot of women who work as mechanics, whatever. I've seen way more now lately. So it's a much more diverse workforce than what, when I started out in '94. And it's good. And the workplace is better for it, because you get people from all around and different backgrounds and, different ideas, and help make improvements. So, and if you're a company that doesn't foster that, and you're not, try to be diverse, sometimes you're going to hurt yourself. And you limit yourself to make improvements and be successful. And people just need to see that, stop being assholes.
Yeah, that's what that's about as plain as you can get. I should have made that the topic. I should have made that the topic thing. Stop being assholes. I mean, seriously, this shit has to stop. I mean, I've said it like 3 or 4 times now, and I still can't wrap my mind around the fact that that this is a thing, especially with the advent of social media. Do these companies not think that this stuff's going to get out?
I know. You can't hide it now.
As much as I despise some journalists in this industry, as much as I cannot stand the ambulance chaser.
Well, there's still some of that.
Yeah,
it's like I said last week, that people have sources. They do talk to people, but you're getting that information through an article. So sometimes, what's the whole story? We don't always get the whole story. We don't get both sides. And sometimes this stuff goes to court, right? So
yes, and
play out in
court, still gonna play out in court.
And hopefully, what really happened does come out, and people who are in the wrong will get their day in court.
But what I'm trying to get at is that, as much as I hate those ambulance chasing journalists, just try. The problem is he's there, and you can go to him. So the fact that you can anonymously go to these people and tell your story. If you're a company, why wouldn't you be so freaking buttoned down that rainbows come out of your fingertips when you type, and flowers come out of your mouth when you speak? You can't do this stuff in this day and age, because you'll get told on. And because of Twitter and because of social media, those things can get out. I've seen a lot of posts and tweets from people who have been abused at their jobs in the gaming industry, female developers who have been treated poorly and who have been, harassed, They're telling their story on Twitter where millions of people can see it. If you are a company, why on earth would you have that as part of your culture to where people could go out and tell people about it? It's not like the old days when you didn't have social media, where the only way you could get that out is you could write to your local newspaper and hope that you got on an op-ed, or you hope that your lawsuit made it to the national news. Now, you could put your message out there to the masses in a way that in the 80s and 90s you couldn't do. And so it's why I don't understand why big giant companies like Activision, Ubisoft, and small companies that the microscope could be on, like Riot Games and Moon Studios. And Riot Games, I believe, is now owned by Tencent. So
or are they all their own or percent?
I think, let me see. Tencent acquires full control of US-based Riot Games. Yes. So, yeah.
I like the quote from 1968 Camaro SS. Favorite quote from my father-in-law: "Some people just aren't happy unless they're pissed off."
Yeah.
Which is true.
So,
I know people like that.
Shout out to brother Axel 1324 Gaming, friend member for 10 months. Hello, guys.
Thank you, Axel. Appreciate it.
Love you, Axel. Another Gamers United Guild member, and his another one that I feel so bad that I can't check out live all the time, because the Iconic Games podcast is so great. Folks in the chat, listen to me. 8 o'clock Friday nights. Please go check out Axel's. It's Axel Doggy Dog 420, who's also Gamers United Guild and a member of the Retro Renegades, and Princess Zelda, who is Titan Drago's wife. I am not kidding when I tell you some of the best podcasting you will see anywhere. That show needs millions of viewers for the things that they do. I will tell you, when you go to his channel, and it's in the description below, the first show you need to catch up on is their Valentine's Day show, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Just watch that, and it will tell you everything you need to know. And
they do come on at a certain time on Friday, where sometimes it's hard for people. You got family, people like to go do stuff on Friday. Go back, and if you can't listen to them live, definitely go back and listen to them, because I don't always make it live, but the next day, like if I'm at work, I'll throw them on, and they're there while I'm working, and I'll have my phone on so I can watch, because you have to watch them, because just the things that they do, and their inside jokes, and like Doggy Dog does his little rap deals, and Princess
his
Zelda,
Russian accent.
She'll wear like the last one. I think she was wearing of course she wears her Zelda crown, but she was wearing like a hoodie, and I think it was a Zelda outfit too. You know, but so they're just fun. And Axel's just a good dude.
Yes.
And if anything, they foster a fun and positive environment, and they keep it that way. And they're not like any other show. They're very unique in what they do. And they also are, what I like is that you interact with the chat and you get them involved in the show. And that's what they do. They have fun with that. So definitely give them a look, give them a sub. You won't regret it.
Absolutely.
Ooh, tomorrow's his birthday episode.
Yeah. But like they spent the last 3 weeks doing like best game soundtracks to the 80s, best soundtracks to the 90s, best soundtracks to the 2000s.
And then like play it right, and then you get to guess. People in the chat try to guess what it is. So it's just fun. It's fun doing that, and it's like it brings back they bring back memories going way back, and you're like, whoa, and they do it in a fun way. So it's just interesting. You know, they have deep history with gaming history, and it's just fun listening to their their history about it, and what and their differences, right? What they bring to the show.
You really do.
And that's what I love about the GOG is that we have a diverse group of people, podcasts, content creators. We all bring something different to the GOG.
We do.
And that's what's great, that like me and you, when we first got this thing going, and it's like, hey, let's get this going, let's get the DM going, let's talk to people, people that we know and trust, and they're good people, and we're careful on who we bring in, and the growth that we've had shows, and the people that we have,
Yep.
and whether or not you're part of the GOG, that we have good friends inside and out.
Absolutely.
So we have a great community. I feel that we've been able to put together these past couple of years, where it's helped bring gaming fun. It's helped bring a place where people can come and they can feel comfortable, and and nothing against other podcasts, but we're not about the drama, and we're not all that. And that's what GOG is, just about gaming and having fun, and doing it in a unique way.
That's all we want to do.
And it's been a blessing to meet so many people who have joined the GOG, or even those that have been part of it and they've left, but we're still friends.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Mav was a member, and
in the growth, indie gamer, and
indie gamer,
seeing the growth that these people have been able to do.
Yeah. And they're great people. It's still, but you're right. We have such a diverse group, and it's diverse amongst the people, and it's diverse amongst the content. We have Xbox. We have, I don't know if we have a PlayStation show. We need to get a PlayStation.
No, I think people are pretty well-rounded.
Yeah. We have retro. I mean, we got a lot of retro, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Retro Rich. And if Chris, I meant to tell you, if you were interested in Master System, I know you're watching his stuff.
I do, and he'll tweet it out, and he'll tweet he got this game or that. So he's one that I definitely look at when it comes to the Master System. Some of the games that I haven't seen in a long time, and watch his play. So, I think one day he was playing Joe Montana during the Super Bowl, and it was not the Sega Master version or the Genesis. I can't remember. So
it was the Master System version.
Yeah, so I was like, ooh, if I had a Sega Master System back then and I loved Joe Montana, I would have had that game.
I love Joe Montana. Are we in hour 3 yet? What's up, brother? Brother DJC is in the house. Brother Chuck's in the house.
Speaking of a great content creator.
Yes. I was telling everybody earlier. Yes. I was telling everybody earlier, last night's Amico Forever show was on fire, and we had a great time, and we're actually going to talk about that now. I think we've covered right? We spent an hour covering that. That's more than I thought we'd cover.
Yeah, y'all did good.
Yeah.
It was a fun show, and I think the chat was pretty respectful.
Chat is awesome. I love our chat.
Yeah.
I love our chat.
Hey, you got a DJC shirt on?
I do.
Got a little bit of Retro Renegades, as we were talking.
Nice.
Supporting our brothers. I need
Always.
to get I would like a DJC, and I would like a bacon ice cream shirt.
So I gotta get you in touch with DJC, because he doesn't sell his merch, As he likes to say, his merch is available nowhere. Oh, what's up, Paste? Brother Paste in the house. So, Rich definitely has merch to buy, and I love him. I love the bacon ice cream shirt. So, my shirt though, Chuck, has sleeves. Just so you know, my shirt has sleeves. There you go.
Be right back. Yeah. I'm gonna take a little potty break, get a drink, and then come back so we can get going on the next topic soon.
All right, so I'll hold until you get back because I know you want to talk about this too. So while he is out, let's go talk to the chat and see what's going on, everybody. So what about an Evercade show? Now I might have to get Chris to do that because I don't have an Evercade. I'm not gonna. So my thoughts on the Evercade. I know it's popular. I know everybody likes it. I wanted to like it. It's not for me. So, it's not for me. I do retro stuff. I emulate, which is what the Evercade is. And I emulate all the games that I own, except for Saturn and Dreamcast, which I do on real hardware. But everything from Sega CD down or 32X down, I emulate. But I have it on here. I have it on my phone with RetroArch. It's just, and I have the and I have the Razer Kishi, which is a fantastic the Razer Kishi is a fantastic joystick gamepad for my phone, and I did a video on it. It's in the channel. So as soon as Chris gets back, we will get to the unboxing video. He went to the bathroom. I can't lie, I kind of have to go a little bit myself. But I don't know. It's not. I thought it would be for me, and I think what happened was at the beginning of the Evercade, they really could only do. Hey, Sean, what's up, brother John? John's in the house. They were only doing 8-bit, 16-bit stuff. So, it was. No, he heard the word unboxing. It's coming. I'm waiting for Chris to get back from the bathroom, and then we're going to talk about it. So I'm stalling. I'm doing that tactic of stalling for time. So, John, actually, again, so give me a sec. I'm going to take a second to plug DJC Game Studios, who, again, description is down. His link's down below in the description. Was on last night on Amico Forever. John was on Amico Forever with us. I was privileged enough to come hang out last night too, along with Geeks with Cash and Retro Advisory Board, and played a video on loop. I actually could. So I'll light up here. I'll light up the topic so you know. Play it. It was a fantastic interview with John. And you know what? At this point, I hate calling these things interviews because they're really not. I mean, we're at a point now to where, you know, we've gotten to know John, and it was just a conversation. You know, there was some great questions that he gathered from the video, and man, Chris really has to go. Hey, what's up, Bros B? No, it was a group chat. No. That's a great way to put it, John. It was a group chat. And it really did. Oh, hold on. What happened to Chris? Hold on. Did I lose him? I think I lost Chris. Oh. Hang on a second. Hold on. I was wondering what happened to the show.
Oops.
Ah. Oh, what is up, Triple Lindy? Thank you, brother. Triple Lindy with the $5 super chat. Congrats on scaling that wall, Myke. Thank you, Lindy. Wish everyone here victory in conquering whatever wall, literal or figurative, that stands in your way. Lindy, thank you so much, brother. That means a lot. That was a big thing for me. And you know what? So you guys are going to laugh. So I have a new goal for 2022 because I honestly can't do one yet. My newest goal, Chris, pull-ups. I cannot do a pull-up yet. I can get about halfway up, and everybody keeps telling me I'm using too much of my biceps and my arms. So that's my new goal this year. I'm gonna start getting pull-ups in. So, love the hat. Love the hat.
It's my Star Wars hat got at Disney World. I figured, hey, it's time to.
Hang on.
We got past the serious comment. It's time to have some fun. We're gonna talk Amico. So,
we are. Look at that hat.
My
Look at that hat.
Mickey hat.
Look at that bad boy. That's awesome. All right. So let's oh.
Yeah, I saw John
look.
just popped in.
Elden Ring is coming to the Amico. No, just kidding. Hold on. Let me change this out. Maybe Myke is too top heavy. Thank you, Cousin Born. Thank you. That's wonderful. Okay, so let's get this bad boy moving here. And we talked about this last night, and again, appreciate the opportunity to once again talk with John. Where is it? Here it is. So on Tuesday, John Alvarado and company showed us an unboxing. And this is the I'm gonna turn this up a little bit.
Today to bring you something special that we've been working on for a while. That's an important part of bringing Amico to the public. I'd like to thank the whole team.
Actually,
the art
you know what?
department, the marketing
you guys watch this.
The localization team.
It's my turn.
That worked on.
This is so embarrassing. I'm so professional. I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
This is the box that will appear on retail shelves and will be mailed to you if you pre-ordered an Amico.
Again,
this particular
Triple
box
Lindy,
I'm
thank you
going
for
to
the
mail to Hans Ippisch, our president of European operations. It contains a fully functional Amico that he's going to demonstrate to our European partners.
Hopefully,
I'm going
Myke
to open this up in a moment, but first, let's have a look at the sleeve.
Off.
The sleeve changes based on the territory. Because
we don't want to hear him going to the restroom while we're trying to watch.
You can see that it has 5 different languages on the back.
Boxing.
And then on the bottom side, again, multiple languages for the required warnings and sport information, requirements, and our partner logos here. And on the side, highlights of the system. It comes with 2 controllers.
As you see, that box looks great.
6-pack in games. It's all
I'm going to turn it down so we can talk. Because everybody, if you haven't seen this video by now, you should go see it. But you're seeing it here. So, the reason that I wanted to talk about it tonight is this kind of, I feel like this all started with us, Chris and Peter, because we had Phil and John on last month, right? And Phil said he was going to try to have some sort of announcement at the end of the month. And a couple of days into March, he announced that they were going into a quiet period because they were negotiating with folks to potentially invest or acquire the company, one of the two, and that they would bring out more information as time goes on. And, I have to speak honestly because it's what I do. It's what we do here. And I speak this from the heart because, Chris, you and I are both, well, you're now a Founders Edition. Right now. Congratulations.
Thanks to Phil and team. Appreciate it.
And Peter's a Founders Edition. There's a lot of us. So, we're in this to the end, right? But when they went silent, there's a few people that even are friends of ours that were getting a little antsy.
Yeah.
And while I'm patient and you're patient and Peter's patient and Chuck's patient and Rab is patient and there's a ton of us that are patient, there's some people that aren't and or not as patient or didn't understand what was going on. And I understand it. I may not have understood it at first, but I started to understand it. Even though I didn't feel that way, I can understand other people feeling that way. So then this comes out, and this comes out on Tuesday, and people have started to, to get a little momentum back in, some hope. Let's call it what it is. This gives us some hope, and sure, Niall, it's worrying when a company goes silent. Now, the reason they were going silent was because, again, they're negotiating with people to try to. The fact is, they have the product. You can see it. I've played it. I've touched it. What they need to do is get it on an assembly line and get it into that new box and get it out the door. And that's the wall they're trying to climb now. That's their rock wall that they're trying to climb right now. See how I brought that in? You like that, John? You like how I brought that into my... That's the wall they're trying to climb. And that's what they're trying to do.
So if Myke can do it, so can Amico in Intellivision.
Boy, we're not setting the bar that high. Or that low. We're not setting the bar that low. I know what all this means. But this was kind of something that they put together, and for everybody's knowledge, because and John brought it up last night, there was some questions about when this video was created. I can say with great confidence that I do know this video was shot last week. So this isn't an old video. This is their latest and probably, John, you can correct me if I'm wrong. This is more or less the launch version of the UI. They can certainly continue to tweak it as they go along and make improvements and stuff, but if they were able to get this out the door next month, this is the UI. And check this out. Look at that. That's really nice. This is the UI that we'll see. And so I think it was important for them to bring this video out. And apparently it's going to be the first of a couple. John said last night that they were going to do a video on the store and how to download a game, how to use our physical things, right? And see, there you go. It's the launch UI. Although they'll likely replace the gears with custom icons. Ooh, cool.
Yeah, and and that was brought up, right? Didn't someone brought that up? How the icons, like the gears, that for some kids it could be kind of confusing, right? So if they had, certain icons where it gave a little bit a better reference to what it is, especially for kids who are trying to play.
Chuck said flamingos, gears, whatever works.
And it's funny, like when you were saying earlier, well, some people were trying to say that, well, how do we know this video wasn't shot a long time ago? And I was like, I wonder, were people trying to look at John's mustache and kind of measure and say, okay, a year ago it was this long and it was shaped this way, a certain way, and then and that's not how it is now. Try to base the video on John's mustache. Right.
It's kind of funny, and sometimes you just have to laugh at that stuff. But this was something that look, they have a long way to go, right? They still they gotta get this on the assembly line, no doubt about it. There's still challenges, there's still things, and they're feverishly working on it. John will tell you, like, I asked, I told John if he had a couple minutes, he was welcome to come on, but at the same time, dude, last night he was at the office till 9 o'clock his time.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a long day, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's at the office right now. I mean, he's punching 12, 15-hour days to get this thing to where they need it. He says at the office right now.
Yeah.
You know.
So last night, all of y'all already had hands-on, right?
Yes, everybody had hands on.
So of course, I have not. The closest they came to me was Dallas. I think they were at a gaming museum. So, of course, I'm looking at this from a different view from you guys because y'all had hands on, so you have a better understanding on, in person how the Amico looked, how it played, right? Controllers. And so when I see this video and seeing it more of, the unboxing and seeing the graphite one, that's the one that I originally pre-ordered through the VIP. So, and seeing it like that and that finished version looked great.
Yeah.
So I love, black consoles or whatever, and I just think that looks great the way it is, especially with the blue lighting and then but then seeing him bring it out and show, the power cord and everything, and then HDMI and then just put everything together and put on TV and then see it come on and then see the control. And when you put the controllers on the charge, how quickly they, you see it respond and the charge icon deal. It's very clean. It's very professional looking, and I think it looks simple. The boxing and like you see the instructions in there to where someone who a parent.
That's not. Oh yeah, the quick start guide. Hang on.
Yeah, where they can easily see that and be able to help. It'll help them set up, even if they're not technically capable. They're not normally able to do that. Have to call someone to help them with that. But I think they did a great job with that because they are trying to reach out to families, and they're not just trying to go after the hardcore gamers and so on. So from what I see, looks great, and can't wait to see these on shelves. To show this to my family. My wife's family, we like to have game nights, or even my family, and every once in a while we'll get together. So I would love to be able to bring the Amico over for game nights because they are going to have board games on there, and it's the games like the cornhole and then bowling. Because the reason why the Wii was so special back then because it was able to reach out to beyond gamers with the motion control, the controllers, and be able to. People had fun. And I think this is going to bring that, like they said, that's what Tommy and them have been trying to say, that they want to bring this back into the market. This has been missing from the market. And it still is right now. So they're on the right track. And like you said, it's going to take a while. They have to be silent because, they want to get the right financial situation to where then they can start. They have the money to produce and then get these things out. So I'm excited. When it was a little concerning there when, we were like, well, we haven't heard anything, in February, right? But of course, talking to you and then getting some inside, what we hear here and there. And when they come out with the letters, like, okay, I get it. And, we'll just be patient and let them work things out, and just can't wait. And I appreciate that John, obviously we've had him on before, but just seeing him, the way he talks about the stuff that he does, and then, when he was on with you guys last night, he's just a genuine good guy. and you could tell that he's good at what he does, and he enjoys talking about it. And I can't imagine that, you know, people out there trying to discredit and try to make a big deal out of this because they want to, you know, clickbait and get views on their channels and try to sit there and bash Intellivision, you know, the Amico and the people that work there. And it's just, I just don't think that's cool. I mean, these people are real people that have families, and they wouldn't, you know, you see John, he's putting himself out there. He's making these videos and trying to show us something, what he can, and, you know, before this thing comes out. So I look forward to the next video. So,
yeah,
and like I told you before, that hopefully we can get to a point where some of these games that we already know, and, you know, maybe we can get some of the developers on with this. And,
I do want to get, and I agree, and when we talked to Phil, he did say we could. I do want to get to before we do that. I have to be fair, and I think John would agree with me. I want to do that after we get that kind of release date. Because
definitely.
You know, for a couple reasons. I mean, number one, you know,
we want to get all that set in stone.
Yeah, get that set in stone. Plus, we want the developers to have a chance to keep working on their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and once that's in place, we're gonna do that and go full steam. You know, and you know, it's not just John, and it's not just Phil Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, I say Phil Spencer. Phil, if you're listening, I did.
The other Phil.
The other Phil. And it's not just, you know, it's not just Tommy, who, you know, by the way, despite anything anybody said, he's still there. He's working on games. He's working on soundtracks. He's still involved.
And he did have a tweet earlier, and prayers up to Tommy.
Prayers up to his
dad's
dad.
Still, you know, fighting. So, you know, we're thoughts and prayers are with you, Tommy. So
absolutely, always. And you know, it's no secret that, you know, we're friends with him, and there's no secret that I talk to him, you know, offline and stuff like that, and I've continued to let him know, you know, I'm here if he needs me. And that doesn't change. You know, but it's not just those three. There's an entire company there. There's almost 50 employees that are, you know, they're coming to work every day to try to get this thing past the, you know, when Phil was on our show, he called it the starting line. I kind of called it the goal line. He's calling it the starting line. I kind of get why he says that. But, you know, it's not just John and Phil and Tommy that are affected if this doesn't come through. It's an entire group of people that are coming into their office every day and busting their ass. By the way, I want to back up for a second, because this is how sometimes I'm so out of the know. I want to go back to Moon Patrol for a second, because I didn't know this, or at least I didn't remember this about Moon Patrol. I'm going to turn this up because, listen, John explains.
Moon Patrol is a classic game that we've reimagined, and you can play the single-player experience just like the original classic, or you can play the Amico co-op experience, which is so much fun. You split up the duties of the buggy. Some people shoot, some people jump, some people drive, and you have to really cooperate to get through, and it's so much fun. Flying Tigers is a super fun scrolling.
John says, seeing the cornhole footage, I'm reminded that some critics were noting the lag between the throwing motion and the bag being thrown on the screen. I wanted to address that by explaining a bit further how it works. If you are up for it, John, I'll bring you on right now, and you can. Yeah, I will give you the floor. I know you're. All right, hang on. I'm bringing him into the call. He just pinged me. All right, so which means I'm gonna move you back over to the middle, and I'll put John on the end. Hang on, let me now you guys are gonna see the back end of the way the sausage is made on this show.
And real quick too, on the Moon Patrol, I thought it was great because I didn't realize. I don't know if you were going to bring that up, but how you can have multiple people helping you control on Moon Patrol. Where someone's a gunner, someone's driving.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Oh, I hear him.
Hang on. Oh, I hear him. Hang on. Oh, I
We-
hear him. Hang on.
Oh.
He's echoing.
Maybe he has us on the.
Is that better?
Yeah, there you are. All right, hang on. Are you? Once you get your camera on, I'll get you on the screen here.
I think I need to pause my YouTube stream. That was echoing as well.
All right. Yeah, as soon as you yep, and as soon as you pop on camera, you should pop into Peter's spot there.
Oh, I see. I don't have my camera on.
There you are.
There we go.
John.
What's this technology stuff?
I know, right? How you doing, man? Long time no see.
I'm doing well. Thanks. Thanks
You
for
are literally in the
popping in.
same spot you were last night. Are you still chained to the desk?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, so so you wanted to address the cornhole piece. Let's go back to that part of the video, and I am happy to let you do that. And so, Chris, if you have any questions,
My headset.
by all
getting
means.
an echo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I do
are you
that.
still getting it?
Can you
Oh,
hear me
look at it. Oh yeah. Oh, he's putting the.
Okay. I'm still getting the echo.
Huh. That's weird.
Yeah, me too.
Hearing myself back.
Oh, you guys are both getting an echo?
Not now.
No, not now.
Okay. All
It's
right.
funny when once we mention it, and then it goes away.
It might be whatever is going. I use voice meter to get sound in and out, and it might be calibrating. So, all right, so here's cornhole. So and there's Phil in the chat. I like John cloned. What's up, Phil? Okay, so the floor is yours, John.
All right, I'm going back to notes. Now the echo's back. I'm going.
Oh boy.
What's funny is I don't hear the echo at all.
Okay, so on the cornhole, right. Now, I think that one thing that's important to understand is that the motion control on Amico is all based on the gyro and accelerometer in the controller. We don't have like a bar with any sort of visual indication of where the object is. So we don't have exact precise data of where you are in 3D space like some systems do. So it's all based on acceleration and gyroscope motion. And we actually, it's not trying to track the bag on the screen exactly with your hand as you move it. So it's not lag in the sense of input controller lag, not getting there in time. But what we do is we let you do the throw, we analyze the throw after you let off the button, even grabbing a little bit of data just right after you let off the button. And so that little bit of analysis takes a little instant, a little beat of time, and then we've got all the data and we launch the bag the way that you threw it. And in practice, it doesn't feel bad at all. You kind of do your throw and then you see the bag kind of do what your motion that you just did. So it doesn't feel bad. It's not like you're watching your hand move on the screen and it's lagging behind. We don't really even show that. We just show the hand drop down as you drop down, and then after you throw it, you see the bag come up and throw. So it feels just fine, but when you're just watching it on the TV, you do see that the throw comes a little bit after the hand does the motion. So it is what it is. That's the technology that we have to work with, and how we're able to extract that data is by capturing it first and then, you know, analyzing it and using the fact that it uses some of the data like right at the very end, which is the most important part of the throw, really, is what happens right when you release. I mean, in the real game as well, how you release that, how your motion is at the very end is kind of the more critical part. So it's not like we can figure that all out as you go along, because we need that last end part. But it when you play it, it feels great. It's fun.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to mention was, if I may,
yes,
there
go
were
ahead.
In the Brain Duel game, you know how there's I mentioned there's rock paper scissors.
Yes.
And I saw some people in other videos kind of like doing like a boring yawn or criticizing, oh, rock paper scissors, that's so much fun, you know. And I just wanted to clarify that you're not playing rock paper scissors with other people like the normal way you would play. It's part of like a logic puzzle game where each person is presented a rock paper scissors situation, and then it tells you, like, it'll show you a fist and it says beat this or lose to this, and then you have to figure out the correct answer and pick it on the phone. If you're supposed to beat it, then you need the paper. If you're supposed to lose to it, then you got to pick scissors, right? Because I'm holding the rock. And it gets more complicated where sometimes they'll show two things and then they'll say beat the winner or lose to the winner. So you have to quickly figure out who's the winner and then what do I need to do to either beat or lose it. So it's like a little mini puzzle, and each person is getting their own version of a puzzle like that, and you're all trying to work through it as quickly as you can and get each one right. So you're not playing rock paper scissors with each other. It's the rock paper scissors is just part of like a logic puzzle that you're working out. And I think that's really cool, and it was fun when we tried it, when we played it. So I just wanted to clarify that, because people were saying, "Oh, playing rock paper scissors is boring," but it's not exactly that.
Right.
So
sorry, this is I have such a low tolerance for some of this nonsense. What is the age group for Brain Duel that you're targeting? It's okay, you can say it.
That's a good question. I don't actually know the age group. I just got to make sure that the game works. So it's the marketing people that decide the age group. But I think it's pretty clear it's meant for a younger audience, but meant for, you know, for them to be able to play it with, you know, across a range of ages. And as you're doing these challenges, these multiplayer challenges, it actually adapts if you're getting them wrong. Like in the math one, you're getting like simple math, and you're entering the answer on your controller. And if you get they start to get harder, but then if you start messing up and getting the wrong answers, it kind of drops back to easier puzzles. So, you know, people at different skill levels can kind of still compete. But yeah, clearly the challenges are meant to be able to be enjoyed by a younger audience.
Yeah.
So they can play with their.
Yeah, like I have the box here, and it does say not suitable for children under 3 years of age. So
yeah, under 3 would be too young.
Yeah.
No. Actually, it says E. I mean,
yeah.
So
I mean, it's meant for families, you know, for a young, you know, at least 4 on up.
Yeah.
So,
why?
Like I said, it has plenty of stuff there that will appeal to different age groups.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand why this is such a big deal. So the kids can play rock, paper, scissors if they could. Not that they can, because you just said that's not what it is.
Yeah.
But even if it could, even if that's what it was, the game is called Brain Duel. It's not called Halo. It's Lord have mercy. I'm sorry. Some of this stuff just is so ridiculous. I gotta say, I'm just gonna say this outright. The fact that you have to address anything like that, to me, just doesn't make any sense. This isn't the Sega Saturn, guys. You guys aren't. This is not built for you know, millennial gamers. It's not built for you. It's built for my son and his 7-year-old brother. This is what this is built for. Astro Smash is built for me. I'll give you that one. But come on, people. Come on.
Yeah, I think that people just need to, if you haven't had your hands on it, you can't really fully understand just by looking at a video. So, people just need to be, wait till you get your hands on it and then fully judge it. It's
That's
hard to really get a full understanding just, watching someone play it on the
right.
video. So,
I think another aspect of it is that people that are just watching this on a video are just looking at the game and thinking about the game in isolation, like maybe them just playing that game and whether they think that would be entertaining. They're kind of forgetting about their friends being with them doing this activity.
Right.
That's a huge part of it. If the three of us were to hang out and play some game together, we're having fun because we're together and we're friends and we're chatting and we're enjoying this little challenge to divert us. And that's what it's really all about, is getting the people together to enjoy each other's company, doing something that's fun and accessible. And that's what the games need to be. They don't need to be these huge in-depth experiences that draw you out of the real world into a fantasy world, or have super graphics that look real and all that. It's about doing something fun together with your friends.
And that's
what
I mean, like, lost. Go ahead, Chris.
Tommy, y'all have said before, simplistic, fun games that can appeal to a wider range of gamers or even non-gamers, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's the whole appeal. The family and friends coming together.
And that's the appeal of it. I mean, I've talked about this before. I can have both of my kids, Seth and Spencer, literally sitting on the same couch in two different devices playing the same game and not even interacting with each other. Like, it's weird. But to be able to and then I can't interact with them. What am I going to do? Come down to my Xbox and turn on Minecraft so I could play with them? No. That's not what it's about. And it just sometimes it boggles my mind what you have to address. So it just does. And I'm not speaking for you, but I'm just telling you it boggles my mind sometimes. But I want to change gears since I've got you here. Something we didn't talk about, we didn't ask about. So, can you give us a little bit on Backtalk Party, John?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about why it appears the way it does in the video, in the unboxing video. So Backtalk Party, because we didn't show much about it.
No.
I described it a little bit, but we didn't really show it too much. Backtalk Party, as I mentioned, is an original game. It's a really cool idea, and it's something that Tommy came up with. And we were torn on whether to show it or not. Hans really wanted to show it because it's such a cool game. Tommy was hesitant because he didn't want the fundamental mechanic of the game to be revealed, because he doesn't want it to get out there and other people to, make a similar game before ours comes out. So there's sort of that, kind of keeping it secret versus wanting to show more stuff to everybody, because everybody wants to see new things. So what you saw was a little bit of a compromise of we showed enough to kind of give a feeling about the kind of a game it is in terms of like game show like qualities and using the microphone and multiplayer fun for everybody, without going into the details that would reveal the fundamental game mechanic that is the interesting part that we want to hold off on still. So the answer is no, I can't tell you anything more about Backtalk Party.
That's understandable, because next thing you know, there's going to be a Roblox version, and my daughter's going to be over there playing it before she can play it on Amico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Roblox, I don't think is not coming to this.
No, but I'm saying that they copy every game out there, and they, the versions of it.
So, so I'll just answer. I kind of answered this in the chat. So, Axel, there isn't really an MSRP just yet. there was a Founders Edition that Chris and I are on the list for, that we paid $2.99 for, but it also was a limited edition color that it's got a lenticular. In fact, I'll show, because the box that you showed, John, is a Founders box, right? Because it had the lenticular in it.
Well, that's a good question. We wanted to show the lenticular in there, but I don't actually remember if that comes with the regular one or only the Founders.
My understanding is the lenticular was only Founders. That's what I was originally told.
So as I mentioned in the video, the box itself is the same for all the different versions. The box that you flip open, it's only the sleeve that changes, and then obviously the contents could be different, like have different goodies in there depending on which edition you got. So to say it was a Founders box is not really correct, because it just had the normal European sleeve. But I guess you're right that it did have an element inside that was something that comes with the Founders.
Gotcha. Well, and the box itself, you said, would have the color of your console on it. So there is, I guess, a Founders sleeve that would come with it.
And you know what? Thanks for bringing that up, because I was corrected on that just this morning by one of the artists that worked on the package. And he said that part is the same on all the boxes. It's the sleeve that shows the color of the console that's on the inside. So he showed me like a sleeve that says, it's glacier white.
Right. And that's what I think I think you did say that. This is the sleeve, correct?
Well, see on the box there, no, this is the box. The sleeve is that thing that I slid off of the box that has all like the languages on it. There's two parts to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the outer.
Yeah, so this is the outer. So you go back further, that's the sleeve.
Right. I did. Oh, okay. Understood. That's my.
So that shows black on the sleeve. That means the console inside is black.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So for our Founders, will that show wood grain?
Yes, that should show your Founders. That would be one of the differences.
Nice. So the box itself, which I guess that's the part that I think I misunderstood.
Yeah, and I should say that's my understanding, but I gave you wrong information before. So I'll double check again with the artist to make sure. But that's my understanding.
That makes sense.
The sleeve shows the color and the style, and might have some different verbiage on there depending on if it's Founders or VIP or regular edition.
The artist comes kicking down John's door. What the hell are you doing?
Right.
Can I play cornhole in 4K HDR? Stop it, Axel. I think I said this last night. I thought this was so clean. Like the packing in here is so tight. And Chris, we have to buy an NLG ad on the right-hand side of that. Apparently the sides there are open for advertisements. So we'll just right there where John's hand is, we'll put a nice little NLG logo there and in the website. But this is and I think I did ask this last night, and because a lot of people like this black, that Tron black. That is the final finish, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So did Hans end up? Did Hans get this okay? Did it? Somebody take it?
No, it's supposed to actually arrive today, I think, but I haven't heard from Hans if it did arrive. He would. I would guess it hasn't, because he would have emailed that he received it. So I'll have to check. I can check the tracking on it and see if it showed up yet or not.
It's probably at his house. He's probably playing cornhole on it.
I know I sent it to the office. So.
So this still has, and I meant to ask this as well. This still has the card slot for SD card slot in the back. So
Yes.
that we're still going to be able to increase the memory for game storage, stuff like that.
Right. That's correct.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a technical question, a true technical question, because this is something actually that people have been kind of arguing about with the Steam Deck. And now, obviously, the games on the Amico are not as complicated as Steam games, but is there any kind of have you run into any kind of I/O issue with speed with cards, or is there a certain card that that you guys are recommending people use, SD card that people are recommending over another, so that you can launch the game and not have any hiccups or anything like that?
I haven't done a lot of testing, and I don't know that the QA department has done a lot of testing as far as speed, because I believe that we're actually just swapping it in off of the HD card if you decide to play it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. And if you didn't have an SD card and you filled up, what would happen is that, and you bought, say, a new game, and there wasn't enough space to store it on your internal storage on just the console, then it would figure out what game you haven't played in a long time, or the most least played, and it would actually remove that data and to make space, and remove enough data to make space for this new game. And what the external storage does is allow us, instead of just removing that game, we could put it out to your external storage. And so I think they would just swap places instead of having to download it, so it would be certainly faster than downloading it.
Gotcha. Phil said it did arrive, and Lance said Hans posted a picture of it on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook in a year, so
I just
don't
emailed
know.
Hans because I saw that it arrived and was signed for by someone named Tracy, and that scared me.
And now Tracy has it at her house and is playing
Yeah.
Portal. So, Jeff GoGameGo says my Switch games run just fine on my SD card. So, but that's fine. And so does it do, this is an interesting topic. Cause I geek out about this kind of stuff. So is it hot swapping?
Well, I have to verify that with Gabe, our OS firmware programmer, because that's his area. I don't actually deal with that.
Okay.
So that's how I think it works, but I'll find out for sure and let you know next time we chat.
Okay.
If it's actually swapping it out or actually directly loading it from the SD card.
Okay. I would be interested in, and I'll tell you why. The reason I would be interested in that is I know that part of the allure of the controller is being able to take your controller to another person's house and sync it to their Amico, and you have access to games there. The other interesting method could be taking like we do with our external drives. I take my Xbox external drive over to my buddy's house that's got a 1X, and we plug it into his thing, and the games are there. And then I take it, and I have to sign in. I still have to sign into the Xbox, but they play right off the drive. It would be neat to be able to take that SD card, take it to Chris's house with all of my Amico games on it, put it in the back of his Amico. I'd still have to sign in to access the games because they're licensed to me, and be able to play that way. And then you don't have to download them and that kind of thing. That would be a neat thing. So if you guys have a roadmap for technology.
Well, I can tell you that right now that's not how it would work.
Sure.
Because of the security mechanisms that are in place, it would have to download a custom version for the new console.
Really?
The
Okay.
ones you have on the SD card wouldn't work on a different console.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's something for the future.
Mm-hmm.
He's going, shut
Perhaps.
up, Mike.
Yes.
Shut up,
perhaps.
Mike.
What's the
Where's-
other slot next to the SD card? Is that a USB?
That's a USB-C slot,
See?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And that's you can charge controllers on that.
Actually,
that's what
no, that's not a charging
Really?
USB port.
Uh,
No,
Well,
it's just for data. So you, just for communication. So you could like connect. I mentioned this on the show last night. You can get an adapter and connect an Ethernet jack, so you could have your internet directly through Ethernet as opposed to over Wi-Fi.
which is likely
And
what I'm going to do.
and you know there might be some other things we do for expansion in the future that would take advantage of that.
Okay.
Of that port for other things. We definitely use it during development. It's used, but that feature would be disabled in the retail version.
Gotcha. And that's going to be so that feature of being able to put an Ethernet adapter on there, is that a launch feature?
Yes, that works. That's just part of how the hardware works and the OS works.
Okay, cool. And you said it in the chat, and so I'll just to minus, and you said it last night too in a way, minus the gears, which I understand. The gear I didn't even think about, honestly, the gear part, but when you said that in the chat about wanting to have something else there, are you thinking something that is static or something that maybe the user can define?
Oh no, I think it would be static, not something that's user definable. Like the power gear could maybe look like a power symbol, like the circle with the line or something,
Sure, gotcha.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
The language might be a world globe with flags around it or something like that.
Gotcha. But other than that, and so that you can make sure it's said so that people can hear you say it. This is pretty much launch ready. The UI, the OS.
Yes, and as I mentioned before, we might still change some things, but I mean, this could launch even with the gears as is.
Yeah.
We might put those in a patch to change them, improve it or something. But yeah, this could launch.
Yeah, and it looks smooth. It looks nice.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Seth, I did once we saw this online, once we got the notification that this video existed, I immediately showed it to Seth, because I remember when we were at Crayola last year, and we were in John's basement, Retro Bros basement, and Tommy had taken out the Amico to set up, and he turned it on, and it did the Amico thing, and then went into this, and he turned to me and said, "I already like this." I'm like, "We haven't even played a game yet." And he's like, "I know," but he really, is 12. He was 11 back then,
Yeah.
but so he thought this was great. So I showed this to him, and he's excited. Thankfully he doesn't. He's not on YouTube, so all he knows is that at some point, I don't fill him in on the fun of
the
online.
drama.
Yes. So, but all he knows is that this is coming at some point, and that he's ready. Spencer is too. They're. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So you said that next up is to try to do something with the store and the RFID and testing that, showing what that looks like.
Correct. I think that's what people want to see. That's an important part, especially for the business people here. They definitely wanted us to get that part working as soon as possible. So it's been working for a while, but we just haven't made a video showing it. I mean, it's from my point of view, it's kind of boring, but I understand now why people want to make sure like that their box edition cards are going to work and all that, and see it working. That's clearly important. So I get it. We will we'll show that.
Awesome. Oh, so
on the UI, can you customize change the background?
No, that's not planned at the moment, not for launch anyway.
Yeah, I think that would be cool with some of the box art that we have. Like the shirt you were wearing the other day.
Yeah.
Like if you could put that art on the background, would be kind of cool if y'all
Yeah.
end up adding that later on.
Yeah, the idea of being able to skin the UI is definitely on the list of things that could be in the future. Like I mentioned before, that we had like a list to do for launch and a list of things we would want to do post-launch to add new features and new functionality. But that's somewhere on that second list there.
Definitely understandable. Yeah, you can't just throw everything in all at once, right? You want to get it out, it works, and then you update, tweak it later on, get some feedback from people, right?
Exactly.
So. And that's you want to get it. You want to get it now. I don't think there is, Dread, but I'm gonna ask. Dread wants to know if there's a dark mode. It's blue. How do you do dark blue? Oh.
I mean, there could be a dark mode. We tried different backgrounds on there and some different colors and different levels of brightness, and this is where we settled on.
Yeah.
And as a programmer, I'm always saying, oh, we could make it so the user could set it and this and that. But one, it's more work when we have other more important things to get working and functional. And the artists tend to want to establish a certain look and go with that, and not have it just get all crazy by the programmer putting sliders into everything. So, but I do think that that having the ability to adapt it in some way, like maybe choosing from different environments or choosing maybe game themed backgrounds or something like that, the games that you like, would be really cool.
And if you made those
kind of very clean. No, I'm sorry.
No,
very clean looking, and it looks smooth, very simplistic, and I think it's appealing to the eye. So I think,
glad you like it. I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it is. And I know you've also said this in chats before, but I just want people to hear you say it. If you make those kind of changes, much like Microsoft and Sony really has never made big changes until the PS5, but Microsoft has gone through several iterations of their UI. We all know that. If you make an iteration like that, that is something that you can push down to the system in a firmware update, right?
Correct.
So. 68 Camaro wants you to add your own background music to the UI. That's actually a great idea too. Because then we could have Chuck's music. This thing could boot up and it could be I Want My Amico.
JC's.
Yes.
Oh yeah, his album.
Yes. What's up, brother Yobi?
Night Stalker.
Yes.
Night Stalker song.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Oh, his whole album is awesome. He says he's been here for about an hour. Love the convo. Thanks, brother Yobi.
Yeah.
So actually, I was hoping Lemon would drop by. So John, I don't think I told you this story, but I've told Phil this story. The night after you and Phil were on in February, I was streaming the next night. Peter and I will do a co-op stream, and we'll do something. We like Wolfenstein Youngblood. I think that week we were doing Forza Horizon 5, and we were on until like 1 a.m. And I was getting ready to get off the stream and go to bed. And one of our other Gamers United Guild folks came on. He goes by the name 108 Dragons. He has a show on Saturday nights, and he loves to pop in and hang out and chat. And DragonHeartYOBY was in there too. He came on, and for the next 90 minutes, talked about that interview, that chat we had. You, John, you, Phil, Chris, Peter, and I had 90 minutes about how unbelievable that was, how great you guys were, and how he went from being, he said, I'm a ColecoVision guy. So I was like, FC Intellivision, Coleco. and he said, but he said he caught my stream, the Amico Fest stream from last year, and he said, all right, you and your son are enjoying it. I saw Seth's face, and he knows Seth from the video games monthly unboxings he does with me. And he said, all right, I got to check this out. I got to see what it is that I'm missing. And so he said that he watched you and Phil, and he just turned so completely on, I've got to have this thing, that he pre-ordered a Founders.
Nice.
He is on the Founders list. And he was like, he was totally, and Yobi, yes, he says it was a great conversation. Yobi, back me up on this. He went 90 minutes talking about the Amico and how he needed to have this, and how it spoke to him as an older retro gamer too, because of the things that he saw in it. And it really was epic. And it's still, you know what? I sent that to you, and I sent you that's right. I did tell you about it because I sent you the timestamp. I sent you the link, and you said, do you have a timestamp of this? It's 3.5 hours long. I did actually send that to you.
I remember watching a segment of it that you sent me.
Yeah, that's and I think to an extent that things like this help to show that. And I think one of our other friends, Chris, Tari Creep, he kind of said it best. And I think he said it in a way that, a lot of people are thinking. And it's not my style, but Chris, we all know Chris's style. It's like, this shows you guys are still in the fight. Everybody, there you go. There's Lemon, brother 108. So
yeah, Atari Creep, man, he made me cry with his video about his personal struggles and what the Amico meant to him and his family.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's.
It's hard for me to even mention it without getting choked up.
I know, and he's in it to the end too. Yeah, look who just popped up. We said his name, and Lemon comes a running. So he heard us talking about him. But that 90 minutes, man, was just insane. And he had great things to say about you and Phil, and that's why it's I get why people got concerned when you guys weren't talking, right? Because obviously you've got other you really do need to concentrate. I'm as always, and I'll say this every time, the fact that you're taking a half hour to come talk to us right now when you're still at the office and you're away from your family means a ton. I mean, it means a lot. And I think people that are watching this, you have great support here on our show and our chat. And I think even the people who, even may not be interested in the Amico as a system, you guys have to see the passion and the fight that John and Phil are putting into this thing, and everybody there that's putting in. John, how many hours is the guys that work with you? How many hours are they putting in a day?
Well, I mean, they're like me. I don't count hours. I just know that any time of day or night or weekend when I have a question and I Slack somebody, they answer me back, and I see them posting, check-ins on code and software, at all hours and weekends. So I know they're working their tails off just like I am, and it's an amazing experience to be on a team like this with so much experience that they have, with talent and just commitment to a mission that we all believe in. It's an incredible experience that I hope more people can experience in their life. It's not something that happens in every job and on every project. So I'm really blessed and happy that I am having this experience, and even through the hardships that we are experiencing now, it makes you feel alive to be in the fight and to be struggling for something that you believe in.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of companies out there that aren't out there right now. A lot of businesses got killed in 2020 and 2021. You know, legitimately. And the fact that you guys are still fighting and trying to get this out the door, and I know how hard Phil is fighting on the business end.
Yeah.
You know, I know that, and I feel it. You know, and that tells you, it's got to tell you everything you need to know about what you guys are trying to accomplish, and it saddens me to see the, you know, what some of the messages it does and the narrative is going on out there, but over here, you know, we're here. You know what? You guys are here. You guys are still here. That's you know, that in and of itself should tell you what you need to know. That you're still putting these videos out, that you're showing the fight, and that you guys aren't, you know, contrary to popular belief, you're not dead. You know, and that's, if you're in this, I know I'm in this, and I'm seeing this to the end, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna get play these games, and you know, Chris knows I've got the advantage of playing it already. And I want him to experience this so bad. Peter and I talk about this a lot. You know, Peter, he's okay with me saying this. He's had a couple of times when he's been like, you know, I don't know, Myke, I really don't. But then he goes back and he says, you know what though, you have the advantage of playing it, and I say to him, just want you to experience it. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, I want to experience it. And so, you know, we're not wavering. Chuck's not wavering.
Thank you. I
know?
appreciate that, Myke, and all of you that support us. It means so much.
Well, and the fact that again, you're taking this time to pop in, and I told you last night, I said, yo, you were already on Chuck's show, you don't need to come on and be here too. You can, you know, get your work, but the fact that you wanted to jump on, talk about cornhole, and we're sitting here talking, and I mean, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, the timing worked out for me, because I got to go have dinner with my son, and then came back to the office, and I was working for a bit, and then I saw your message pop up, and said, "Yeah." Up on. I thought last time you said you were going to talk about Amico at the beginning, so I thought I had missed it already.
No,
but I was glad to see your message.
When I figured when I figured I didn't want to bother you and have you come on two people's shows in a row. Plus, I really wanted people to concentrate on Chuck's show. Because last night was so good. So I figured, you know, we were talking about some serious stuff earlier, with what's going on in the industry with, like Moon Studios and stuff like that. And I knew I kind of wanted to end on a happy note. So we wanted to end on this.
That's why I'm wearing this hat.
That's right. No, so we figured we would talk about it later.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for thinking of me as ending on a happy note.
Absolutely, man. That's good. People have to end. We have to end on the stash, because that is happiness in and of itself. So.
Well, with that, I think I'm going to head out. I do have to get home and get some sleep before I come back in tomorrow. So thank you for having me on, guys. Appreciate
John,
it. Nice to talk to you, Chris.
You are welcome anytime you want. You know that. You have an open invite anytime you want to come on. And hell, man, again, at some point when you guys get a little breather, you and because I want to educate my brothers here. You and I have some old games to talk about, some old school stuff from back in my youth.
What my dream is that after Amico launches and I get a chance to take a good vacation, I want to do a tour and travel around and visit all of you guys, and I want to visit the developers in Europe and the developers, and just that's what I want my time off to be, is just connecting with the friends that I've made throughout this process and the people that I've worked with in a more personal and direct way.
Well,
Yeah.
You know,
that
sit down
would
and
be
have
great.
dinner and talk about the struggles we went through, and get to know them better and get to know you guys better. That's what I would love to do.
that's you.
Yeah.
Careful what you wish for, brother, because so.
But that's what I tell Myke, that when the Amico everything first came out, and then we started talking about it, and then Tommy came on. It was just great how we just met so many people, and like the
Yeah.
Gamers United Guild has grown a big part because of the Amico. So
It has.
you know, it has, and it's been great this past couple years, just getting to know you guys and getting more information on the Amico and seeing things progress. And you know, regardless, no matter what, it's been fun, and I'm glad to be able to meet you and Phil and Tommy, and and then hopefully we can meet others too. Like you said, me and Myke had talked about maybe getting together at Too Many Games convention in Philly, and be able to get together and meet. So that's what's great about this community. So I'm glad that we have Amico part of it. So
Yeah, it really has brought a lot of us together, and brought us new friends. I mean, you guys, one of the things that you and Phil Phil kind of understands it because I've told him several times, but your pedigrees are as much a part of what I love about you guys as the Amico. Like the stories that I want to talk about with you about In Exile and what you did in the past, and I really want to have such a conversation with Phil about Spectrum Holobyte and interplay, and just that, and one day we're gonna be able to do that because you guys are gonna get this out the door. It's gonna be everywhere. We're all gonna be enjoying it, and you guys are gonna be able to celebrate a little bit and breathe. And I can't wait for that. So, so we're gonna go ahead and let you get out of here so you get home and get some sleep. But John, thank you so much, man. Thank you for
Mike.
coming
Yeah,
in.
my pleasure.
Yeah. So, and
Good
I
night,
will,
Mike. Good night, Chris.
Good night,
John.
brother.
Yep,
Bye.
have a good one. Have a good weekend.
All right, I'm gonna. I as much as I want to keep that beautiful stash on the screen, I'm gonna. So, but I just, you and I, Chris, are so alike in that, we want to be positive, we want to see the positivity, we hate the drama, and I've seen so much of it. And I've seen the toll it takes on these guys. And the fact that John and Phil, are taking these beatings, and they're still moving forward. They put this video out. They got more videos coming to help show that, they're not done. That this thing is,
No.
they have
Yeah.
every intention of putting this fucker out on shelves and getting this into our homes. And I just, you have to understand, even if you're not interested in it. There's a couple people that I know are in the chat that this is not their thing, and that's cool. I think Jesse might have said it. It's not his thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. Totally fine. But
Yeah, not everybody's gonna buy in on it right away. They're not, for whatever reason, everybody has their own tastes, and
Yeah.
but once it comes out and then people start seeing it, and if they get their hands on, then that might change, right?
Maybe.
So it's understandable for people to say, well, I'm gonna wait until it comes out and then go from there, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. So, just because like me, you, like, we're positive about it and we're all in till the end, no matter what. but it doesn't mean that we're blind to the struggle and that we haven't worried. Because we were hoping we were going to be playing this October 10th
Yep.
of last year, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, we got to wait a little bit longer, maybe at the end of the year. And then it's like, well, maybe at April. And then and then we're like, well, we might have some news at February. So it has been a struggle, and it's been like, man, some of us have already bought the games, and I haven't even opened these up yet. So I'm like, and can't wait, and I wish we had it already, but I think we're down to earth, realistic people, and we're just gonna keep moving on, and we've seen some ugliness come out of this that I just don't understand. So we've taken that I appreciate that you've taken that step to stay away from it and turn left or right and let these people do their own thing, and we just keep going.
Yeah.
So
and
we're not shills. We're not. I don't have no. Besides the pre-order, I don't have no investment. There's not. So all I could do is wait and hope. And
yeah.
But I can't imagine. Phil's been on, and then John, he was on the other day. He did the video. Why would they, if this thing was a scam and whatever, why would they come out and put themselves out there? And they've been doing it for the last couple of years. So obviously they're working on it, and it looks like things are moving along. We just got, like I said, they got to go through that silent period to get things out, right? So
yeah. And look, if for some reason it doesn't make it, right? There's been systems that haven't made it. If for some reason that happens, and I don't believe that's going to be the case, I thoroughly believe that that they're going to get this done, because there's too many. This thing is too. The market they can put this thing in is just too big, right?
Yeah.
But if for whatever reason it doesn't happen, then it's a system that just didn't make it. It's not. There's no scam, nobody's believe me, people have put their lives, their livelihoods, and their houses and their stuff on the line for this. If this doesn't launch, there are a ton of people at Intellivision that lose their jobs. There are people there that have invested money in the company that are going to lose that. It's, you have to have in order for it to be a scam, you have to have somebody to be a beneficiary of it, and there ain't no beneficiary if this thing goes down.
Yeah,
everybody loses. It's not like it's not like Tommy or Phil or John or somebody is hoarding all the money, and this thing goes down, and one of them ends up on an island in the Caribbean. It's not how this works. This goes down.
Get buried in a desert in Arizona,
right?
With the ET
right
copies.
New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Mexico.
It's New Mexico. Yeah. So I mean, but we don't deal with that here. That's not what we do here, right?
Yeah.
That what we do is we talk games, and we keep it, in things like this. When it gets here, and we'll enjoy it when it does.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I have a lot of respect, and I
wish people would just be cool. I get it. People have their own channels. They have their own stick, and drama brings views. But I wish people would be a little bit more respectful and be cool about it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to, you know, you can, it's okay to worry about it and have doubt, but you don't have to be ugly about it. So, and that's not what we're about. So
No.
I won't be, I don't hang out with people like that in real life. I'm definitely not going to hang out with people like that are like that in social media or, you know.
No, I have no use for those people.
No.
So, and I will continue to say it. Those people are not welcome here. They're not welcome here.
And it's okay to disagree with people, but there's a difference between disagreeing and
being destructive.
Yeah. And that's just, like I said, we're not like that.
No.
So NLG has always been about, we're not going to play around with games like that. We're not going to entertain people who want to be dramatic about stuff and be, like you said, destructive. No, sorry, see you later. Sorry, I don't disagree with you, but, you know, or I don't agree with you, but that's okay. I don't have to put up with you. So,
right.
You know, we move on. We got, like you said, we have a great community. We got a lot of friends. Look at the people here in the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't always agree. I mean, me and you, like last week.
Yeah.
We didn't agree on it, but we still have respect for each other, and we can discuss it. And nobody, you know, we're not like, oh, I hate you. I'm not coming on the show anymore.
Right. I quit. Right. I quit.
Yeah. We're adults. We respect, you know. And okay. Great topic, good discussion. Didn't agree, whatever. Next topic next week, you know, here we are. We're all kumbaya right today.
Right. Yeah. Well, because we're brother. I mean, we're family. That's what, you know.
Yeah. And people in chat, I know last week some people didn't agree with me on this and that, had their own opinion. I respect everybody. I didn't have a problem with anything. People are great in the chat. Our friends here are they're engaging with us. They have their input, and we respect that, and we include that in our show. That's what keeps. I mean, look at us. We said we were only going to do a couple hours. Here we are.
And here we are. It's 12:30.
3 hours.
We failed to get well. Thank you once again to John Alvarado for popping on. I was not expecting that, and yeah, Sean Dell's got it right. It's okay to disagree or agree as long as you're being respectful. If someone throws a stone. So,
and like Yobi, he said, I would wish a company like Microsoft would step in and give them a hand. And you know what? I thought about that. You know, like would Xbox, because they've been acquiring, publishers, right? And I don't think it would happen, but it's like, could they acquire Intellivision and allow Intellivision would be a division, you know, just like they're doing with Bethesda, and then they're going to do with Activision, right? And allow them to keep doing what they're doing. Now, would they, if they were to do that, would they allow them, you know, put out the Amico, we're going to finance it, and that'd be just like another device that Xbox will support. And, you know, it's curious, like, you know, just, I thought about that, and, you know, I saw Yobi's deal, so I thought, you know, interested.
What if, and this is something that, I wouldn't have an issue with, because what if some of those games came out in a different form, like the Atari VCS stuff. I can get all the Atari VCS stuff on the, on the Xbox, but there's people that buy the VCS because they want that experience. The Amico is in a different position because of that controller. But why not? You could put an Astro Smash out on Xbox for people that don't want to buy the Amico. We talk about this all the time. You're getting money. You're getting money from game sales. Don't forget, folks, this stuff existed, right? Intellivision lives. This stuff was out there. Mm-hmm. I could envision, my kids aren't gonna, you do like a single player version of Astro Smash, right? And you have to pay like $50 for it. And or you get it on the Amico where you can play 4 players together with the controller and all that stuff, and it's, you know, it comes with the system.
Yeah.
So, hey,
I
what's
mean,
up,
because Phil has
Burritos?
said that he would love to have games that are family oriented and this and that, and television could be that part of Xbox that would bring the family oriented games, like what it brings, you know, with the Amico and the controller, and plus the IP, the property. Some of the, you know, Activision is on Xbox, part of Xbox. Well, we can get a Pitfall, you know, IP on the Amico.
That's
refresh.
one. That's been one
There's
they've
so
been
much
chasing.
there that you can do, go back and forth, and
yeah,
you know.
All right, so you heard it.
I mean, you know, it's just interesting to talk about it, but
yeah, you heard it here first. Microsoft is buying Intellivision. Let's see if there's an Amico on Phil's shelf next time. So, Prairie. So, is there bad news? No, there isn't bad news. Just wondering what the newest was. So, on Tuesday, they put out a video showing them unboxing what the final box looks like, what the retail like outer box is going to look like, and you know, just to give you a little, I'll give you a little quick thing. You can see this on their, on their YouTube channel, of course. But yeah, they're showing what the box is going to look like and how the system fits inside of it and all the cool stuff that's inside. So no bad news. No bad news. They're still in it. They're still fighting. They're still trying to get this thing out the door. It is they as we said last night on Chuck's show, which once again, please go check out if you haven't. It is every intention of Intellivision to put this thing in our house. So, and until such time as they tell us we just can't get it done, we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're here. And I know a lot of you guys in the chat are too. You know, and some of you that, again, not everybody, right? Not everybody. There's folks here that aren't interested in it, and that's totally cool. I'm not interested in the Evercade. You know, I honestly really don't have much interest in the Switch, even though my kids have it. But what we don't do is spend every show or make videos about how much we hate the Evercade.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
which,
that, but
which
Myke,
you can't because you have one.
You're doing it wrong, sir. You're supposed to do a whole show and bash it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't like it.
Yeah, I can't. I can bash the Switch all day. I can bash. I can't bash the PS5 and the Xbox. I own them both. So.
Well, I mean, they all have their plus and minuses, right?
Yep.
I mean, you know, they're not perfect. They have their mistakes.
We talk about those
flaws,
mistakes.
So,
we talk about those issues. You know, we call out Microsoft. We call out Sony. We've called out Intellivision when we've you know, Tommy knows that we've told him things when he that's what he appreciates about us is when he does something or something that we don't agree with, we tell him. I've told Phil. Peter, when Phil and John were here, Peter took him to task on the price, on what the potential price could be, and how it might stack up to a Switch and stuff. So I mean, there has been, they're not perfect.
That is true, because the price on especially a startup, and you have a family or you have a single mom or whatever goes into a store and they see the Switch, they see the Amico, and if they're about the same price, it might make it harder. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
If the Amico was right there at the right price point, where from the Switch on down, I mean, look at the Xbox One. But at the same time, we get it. They're not a huge company, so you can't just like Xbox, and we'll just throw it out for $199, and then take the cut, the loss.
Right. They can't.
I get it. They can't afford that.
Right.
So.
But I'll remind people, what other console on the market right now can you get that has 2 controllers and 6 packing games?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is the fact. The
system,
for
what you get right out the gate, right out the box, you get, like you said, 2 controllers, 6 pack in. The games are not expensive, and it's family friendly. So, if a single mom does her research and sees the Switch and all that, the Switch, yes, it's fun. It has a lot of games for the kids, but it's expensive.
I've said it before.
Hang
on. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And I took a lot of crap from people, those people who need views to get their videos. I took a lot of crap for saying this, but I will say it again, and I will say it again, and I will say it again. You see my son there? You've seen Spencer. You see the look on his in the orange shirt. See the look on his face? Now, this is the kid that plays Roblox, Hello Neighbor. He plays Among Us. Look at his face. Look at that smile on his face. That's why I'm spending I'm spending $2.99 for that Founders Edition. That's why. So because of that. Am I
you see his face. I mean that's real. And then you see his brother behind him looking at it, the controller, looking at the game, helping him, This game is this console, these games like this are definitely made for kids.
Yeah, this is real.
Yeah.
This is real.
I know my daughter, she's going to have a lot of fun. Me and my wife and my daughter are going to have a lot of fun with games where like I can see us playing the Brain Duel and stuff like that, just competing with each other. And the controller, it already fits in with, like you said, with the kids nowadays.
Look at that smile.
The majority of them, they just want to do touchscreen gaming. That's all my daughter does.
Yep. Look at that smile. And again, this kid has a Switch. He plays Mario. We got him he plays Mario Kart. He plays on our Wii. He plays on the Xbox. This dude is a better pirate at Sea of Thieves than I am, Chris. My 7-year-old plays Sea of Thieves better than I am. Better than I do.
Yeah.
But look at the look on his face. Look at that smile.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you can make fun of me all you want. All you want. Make fun of me till the cows come home. But that right there, that is why I'm in this to the end.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about me. It's about him. And it's about Seth. And maybe being able to connect with them a little bit, right? Being able to sit there and play these games with him, with Seth, to be able to do these, to be able to connect with them a little bit, get them out of their electronics that they just bury their heads in. I mean, I know this is an electronic too, but again, I mean, and this is why I don't understand the vitriol, because the people throwing that vitriol don't understand this. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
And that controller looks natural in the kid's hands.
It does. It looks
like he's not even looking at the controller.
He's not.
He's just, and it become natural to him.
Yeah, Dread.
Look at the other kid next to him. Is just like he's just so fixated on the game.
Yeah. And look, I want you to see this. They're each holding it a different way. Seth's holding it left with his. He's holding it. He's holding it the original way, and that kid's holding it right-handed.
Look at that other big kid right there in the background. Looks like a,
looks like a little Geeks with cash.
yeah.
So, I mean, but and I don't care if people don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't care.
Well, this, like I said, they have to get your hands on it. Hopefully, once things get through to the point where they're all right, everything's good, we got the money, start producing, and hopefully they can get out there more to get hands on more with more people.
Well, we're
Because
gonna,
that's the best thing, like what they're doing here.
Yeah, and I want you to
so
hear
they-
this for those who hadn't heard it. Hold on. Look at him. Hold on. What do you think, buddy? Yeah? Huh? I love it. You love it? All right. By the way, Seth in a room full of people, like that room was loud. And for him to be in a room full of people like that, with his autism, tells you he was concentrating on those games.
Yeah.
He wanted to play, yeah, it's all about having fun with your family. Who cares if people make fun of you? People who make fun of someone who wants to spend time with their family are in a very sad state. And it's exactly true. And again, it's a lot of reason that those, trust me, folks, if you've seen some of the stuff that has been said and shown or said and videos made about me in the last 2 months, trust me, I've seen it. I know guys like Chuck have seen it. It's disgusting. But you know what? This can't hurt me because of this. You can't hurt me because of that other, because of watching, my 7-year-old play. Can't.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot hurt me. And I will take this over that every single day. I think this, I got Seth playing biplanes, and again, you're right, man. He's not even looking at the controller. He's looking straight at the screen.
Yeah.
And there's Dread. There's Brother Dread in the background. Dread actually took the Dread. So I don't know if you guys know this, but at one point, Dread took the Surface tablet from me and said, "I'll film some. You go play with your kid. I'll film you." So thank you, Brother Dread, for this. And yes, what about my oldest asking if you were getting one? Yeah, my oldest played Astra Smash. He loved it. He thought it was great. He wants to play it. He doesn't play a lot of games, but he was into it. But again, people have to understand Seth right now is into 3D graphics and drawing stuff, but he plays Among Us. He plays Switch games. He plays all this heavy stuff, and yet this appeals to him too. I'm not gonna understand. I'll never wrap my head around how this is a problem for people.
Yeah.
And how if this makes me excited for a system that I hope comes out. So this is the best part. I know I shouldn't talk about this, but I'm going to. That I'm in a cult. Right? I'm in an Amico cult because I want this for him. And I want this for Spencer. And I want it for me. But because this will bring me happiness and will bring my kids happiness. For that, I'm in a cult.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Why not? And look, you brainwashed Dreadful.
I did. Totally brainwashed Dreadful. Look at him. So, Chuck said, "Hey, you're on TV." So, you know, and that stuff doesn't bother me either. I find it funny. I do find the cult thing funny, but it doesn't bother me. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my point. Myke has three different demographic of children, and all loved it along with their father. Yeah. And if that makes me part of a cult, you know what?
So be it.
I need I don't have like a shirt or a badge or something. I don't have an official cult badge. I need one of those. So, anyway, so that's we went on a little bit farther than I thought, but you know what? And I hope John and Phil understand too that we talk about, we just spent an hour and a half, maybe about an hour talking about this. Maybe a little more, because Jesse Darby said he had about an hour when we got started. So yeah, we've spent an hour and 45 minutes talking about the Amico again. And
yeah,
I'm going to keep talking about it till it comes out, or it doesn't. And if it doesn't come out, so this is the funniest thing, Chris, and then we'll call it a night. If it doesn't come out, you know what changes here at NLG? Practically.
We'll stop talking about Amico.
Right. Other than that, practically nothing. Practically nothing. Nothing changes, because the Amico is a piece of what we talk about overall. It's a piece of Xbox, PlayStation, PC, the topics that we have, retro. If it comes out, you know what's gonna what's gonna change on our channel, Chris?
Nothing.
Nothing, because it's gonna continue to be a piece of what we talk about.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come out, we just
It'll
don't
be
talk about it anymore.
part of our streams, along with everything else that we enjoyed gaming.
Yeah.
And it belongs in the gaming community. The Amico belongs anything. And some people out there enjoy it, then part of the gaming community.
Yeah.
So it's like John said the other night that, what the Amico brings games that are fun, simplistic, pixelated, that with the Amico, it works for those type of games. And not everybody wants to play highly graphical games, it has to be so realistic, you can't tell the difference between real life and the game. I mean, those, that's just one piece of the puzzle gaming. And I definitely look forward to having Amico part of that, my gaming family here in my home. And, to share with my family, and, I could sit here and say, hey, I'm going to stream some Amico game today. So.
And we'll never stop being passionate about it.
Yeah.
So. All right. So it is 12:45, and I'm sure you need to get some sleep. I have held you up way too long.
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you said, did you ever play Deliver Us the Moon?
Yep.
There's a sequel. Did you see it?
Ooh.
Deliver Us Mars. Yep, they revealed trailer today. Deliver Us Mars. I really enjoyed Deliver Us the Moon. In fact, I did a spotlight video on it. So a sequel is coming.
That is, because there was a hint. There was more there. That is cool.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Maybe we got to go after that developer. That's a developer we need to get on the show.
I tried, and he did reach out back. He did, but the time difference. He's over there in Peter's hometown.
All right. Well,
Peter's from, so
we have to
figure that out.
We have to tell him if Gaz can stay up to be on our show, he can stay up. I want to say so. And we're gonna leave on this note, because I want to. Sean Dell says something that is so profound. I also rather do what makes me happy. I also rather do what makes me happy. Thing well, just like most people can't. Most people say can't please everyone. Nah,
Yeah.
you can't. But you know what? If you don't like something, go find something that you do like.
Yeah.
Go find something that you do like and enjoy that. Oh, we are. Oh, Plague's Tale, Brother Prairie. We love Plague's Tale,
yeah.
dude.
Well, I got to go back to it because when
Requiem
I played on Xbox One X, I got to an area and the game kind of glitched on me. Like I couldn't go any further. Like something happened. So I think I need to play it on the Series X, and hopefully that would, that part's.
Oh, Requiem. Requiem is gonna rock.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Requiem
yeah.
is gonna be awesome. So,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Brother Lance. Thanks for another great show and a fantastic channel. And thank you. We got to get you on here, Lance. Hey, we got people that we need to get on this show. So, and Rab, Retro Advisory Board's one of them. I was gonna try to get him to jump on with us because he was saying some really great stuff in our first real topic, but he doesn't have Skype, so we're gonna get him on another day. So, but I want to thank everyone. And by the way, Brosby, if you're still in there, thank you for stopping in. I hope you'll stop by again. Saw you in the chat earlier, and I know you hang out with Geeks with Cash. You saw me on Retro Roots, so I'm glad you're here. TJ, if you're still here, I swear, promise, hand to God, if I don't do it this weekend, early next week, DMing you, Atari Computer Show, one Saturday in April, gonna happen. So, and everybody else who is here tonight, as always, Prairie Ghost, it's great to see you, brother. I'm so glad that you're doing better. So glad you're doing better. 5 hours later. Yeah, great vibes. And Brother Yobi, you're part of those great vibes. You know it.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, love you, brother. Once again, phenomenal show last night. So well deserved. All of our Gamers United Guild folks, you just got to sub to them. You just got to sub to him. You got to sub to Chuck. Got to sub to Chuck's channel. Just do. So, and you got to sub to Dread too. Man, Breaking Bread with Dread. I could go on about all of our great friends that make content. So, and maybe one day we'll do that. I think one night we're gonna start off by just highlighting some of our favorite people, which is everybody. Everybody.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys so much, Chris. Boom. Oh, 3 hours 45 minutes. I can't believe we did that.
I told you it's me and you.
I know.
Peter tries to get us, in check, but
he can't hold us back.
We run off.
We run off. So thank you, everybody that was in the chat tonight. We love you. You guys are our gaming family. You know that. Without you guys, we're just sitting here talking to ourselves. So thank you so much. Gamers United Guild tomorrow night. Axel 1324 and the great iconic games podcast, and then maybe Chris and I might do some shredders tomorrow night. If not, I'll do something, I'm sure. Over the weekend, Chris, channel's yours if you want to do some Tunic and some stuff. It's all yours. I will be I'll be busy. But thank you guys so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. Pick up a controller, get some gaming in. Brother Lindy, thanks again for the super chat. We love you. We love all of you guys, super chats or not. You guys, we love you so much. Pick up a controller, get some gaming in. We'll see you next week for another NLG show. I'll let Chris say it out first.
Adios, amigos. Have a good weekend.
Play on, gamers.